Denied because you had experiment.
Yeah, but you know what it was? It was the first year, the inaugural year, and they wanted pristine people, nobody that did nothing wrong. You know, and I understood it later.
Right. But it pissed you up at the time.
Yeah, it pissed me off. The father sent me there. So y'all go to school. He sent me, Dubar, and Umla. And both of them went on to college, University of Massachusetts and Polytechnic Institute. And I had to wait another year, 2 years. Yeah, but I understood it.
2 years, yeah, wait, 2 years.
Yeah, from 68 to 70. I didn't go to Harlem Prep till 70, God Cypher. And when I went there, we blew that spot up. Yeah, we did the first show and prove.
I mean, just trying to connect with everybody who's doing power, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's good. We supposed to be up in there like that.
You see how I'm traveling all around the country?
I see. And other countries.
And Canada.
Canada.
I didn't get to
That's a star. That's a star.
But I would like to thank you, you know what I'm saying, because you gave me the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, when I came in 2014.
Yeah.
And you was the director of our school.
Right.
I said I want to do this, and you gave me the okay for it.
No
you know what I'm saying? So
no question.
You know,
big time step up.
You know what I'm saying? For
and the same to you for stepping up.
Yeah.
Allah said we take our position. Ain't nobody got to give us. You know, you took your position.
Right.
And I just honored it. I didn't give you nothing. You took that.
Yeah, dog.
And I honored it. That's right.
I appreciate you honoring it.
You know, my brother, most definitely. That's peace.
I said, you know, like by way of Allah be, you know.
Yeah, that's peace. All praise to you.
All praise to you.
I wish that brother, what's his name? Born Master would have turned out like that.
See, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that.
Good.
I'm gonna get into that, God. You know, I'm gonna get into that.
We got to.
We got to build on that.
We got to build on that.
Yeah, let me.
Incisive questioning. Incisive.
Yeah.
And I got concise answers. That's precise.
All right, God. Well, look, God, it's been a minute, God. You blowing up all over the place, God.
That's peace.
You know I see you on Sarnetta.
Right.
I see you on Last at First Sight. You know what I'm saying? And you.
Yeah. Black News.
Black News. Your name is ringing bells, God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into like the whole social media thing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I'm with you, my brother.
But first I want to take it from the beginning, like
what the father established.
Well, actually, I want to take it even like you when you were born.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I go with you.
So tell me when the time you was born.
I'm
on.
It's taping?
I'm on, God.
Okay, yeah, mommy, no question. Yo, let me put my best face on. Yeah. Well, of course, I'm God knowledge. And that interprets that.
Okay, God knowledge.
Yeah, that go back to 1971. That go back to 1948, September 4th. Right? And Pops was an independent black entrepreneur that didn't subscribe to being employed by a white man. All right? He was introduced to all of the Jim Crowism in America in the South. He was born in Ocala, Florida. Bang! And he was very independent. I got some stories about his independence that's off the chain. Mom's was born in North Carolina in a college town, Greensboro, North Carolina. She was an early college graduate. So she had what blacks in the South was gravitating towards, and that was education. Like James Brown said, that if you didn't have no education, you might as well be dead. You know, that was like saying without knowledge of self, you are mentally deaf, dumb, and blind. Right. So they, had the basic elements of knowledge in their education. Pops, although he was born in 1910, he went as far as the 11th grade. Mom's was born in 1923. She graduated from college. So we had that education from the South, Baptist background, being born in Harlem. I was born in Harlem Hospital and was raised in Harlem
Knowledge, understanding, power, right?
Knowledge, understanding, power, right? And at that time, they said it was the best baby hospital in the world because there was so many being born.
Right.
You know how we prolific in making babies and having them born?
Right,
well, they was born by the whatever the droves in Harlem Hospital because black folks is known for their high propensities of sex. We be fucking, excuse my expression, right? But that's what we be doing. We ain't had nothing else.
Right.
Exactly. So,
this is a free bill. This is 1948.
48. And Harlem Hospital was known for wound treatment, gunshot and pistol wounds, because there was so many prolific wounds in 1948 in Harlem.
It was like a rough period.
It was.
Yeah.
Razor cuts, a lot of people from the South, and brothers drinking and fighting and fussing and all that. All that Yaku teaching said caused them to fight and kill one another. We was really on it because there was a lot of money being made in the streets and a lot of different acquisition of a lot of materials in the street. And people that didn't have no knowledge was actually savage in their applications of life and the pursuits thereof.
Right.
They didn't know how to pursue it from a civilized perspective. Right. So them things was happening very savagely. And I was born into that. But being born into that, I also learned early of the resentment of black people's fight against Jim Crow. That we never liked it, slavery or being oppressed, and when they allegedly freed us, we never liked the institution of racism under Jim Crow either. And we fought, and there was a lot of riots that you don't even hear nothing about, but the one I was born 5 years after was the Harlem riot. And my pops made it a fact that I knew that. He made it known that he never worked for a white man. He made me understand that. Son, whatever you do for your goddamn self. Okay, so I'm getting that.
Right. Were you an only child? Or?
No, I had, it was 7 of us in my household.
Oh, yeah.
I was the fifth
fifth
child.
Okay.
I was the fifth child of my pops and mom's union, and it was 2 brothers ahead of me and 2 sisters. So I was the power one that came. I came with the power.
The 5%.
Power. But pops was like giving me that independence and knowledge and beauty of being black. That if you're a black man, he didn't say it like that, but he called me man ever since I can remember. That was my nickname from Pops.
So during that time, he Pop stuck around with his family.
Yeah, right. For the first 9 years of my life.
First 9 years, okay.
Yeah. What happened while I was the first 9, he would have stayed, but he was into some illegal activity, being an entrepreneur. He was a street entrepreneur.
Right.
Really, now we call him a street pharmacist. Then I didn't know nothing about it. I don't know if my moms knew about it. None of my brothers and sisters, none of us knew that Pops was a street pharmacist, right? And he had a serious Cuban connection that I never met none of his Cuban friends. But I had been to Florida with Pops, where he was from, and there was a lot of Cubans in Miami. We lived 17 miles from Miami, and he had a bar in Miami.
Okay.
And he used to mingle.
Right.
But I used to see them in Miami, and I don't know nothing about what Pops was doing in New York. And that shit was like, that was his connection. And
right.
And I learned when I was 16 that the way he used to take care of his business, he used to be a chauffeur. And that's how he used to transport his business as a chauffeur. Right. And he owned cabs.
Oh, so he was getting
all around the board, legitimately and illegitimately, but it was all his. And I got that. And I don't know no religion that my pops had. Mom used to go to a Baptist church. She also became she was with the Negro Business Association, or the Women's Business Association, under Dr. Hart, Syria's young sister. Right. And she was with them. They was one of the first to get a movie house and convert it into a church in Harlem and stuff of that nature. And it's real big. The First Corinthians Baptist Church on 116th. There used to be an old movie called The RKO. And Martin Luther King came in and all that. Mom was hooked up in all that. Business, politics, and education.
Well, I was
getting all that.
I want you to build on the story that you was telling me before about how you got the scar on your arm.
Man.
That was an incredible story.
I can show it to you. You know, see all that? From here to up here. All that's rat bite.
Rat bites?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in 1948. I was born in 48 in September 4th, on September 4th. And approximately 3 months after that birth, I guess I was in my crib early morning, as moms and pops told me. And the rat must have, he jumped in my crib, but he must have been attracted by the milk breath of my milk, because mom used to put in the crib, put a milk bottle in my mouth and a puller under there so I could drink the milk, go to sleep. Right? And I guess the bottle spilled over, but the milk dripping down my mouth. But the rat is attracted to the smell of the milk and the fact that there's something there that's moving. Right. I mean, something there that ain't moving.
Right.
Or can't mow and ain't big. But anyway, he jumped up in the crib and went to feasting on me. But from what they told me and the way that the wounds that I received was all on my arm, and that's what I was fighting with.
Wow.
You know? Right. But look, this is
right arm, just get
right arm, but he's a fearless little beast. You know, usually, because usually when a rat see movement of a human, they disappear.
Right.
But this is a baby, me, a human, and I can't move. The only thing I can do is swing that little arm, but he biting. Yeah, but he biting and fearless. The mother ain't run. You know, and the only thing I can do is fight and cry. But mom's said she got up thinking it's feeding time early in the morning. I think it was about 5 or 6 o'clock. I don't know. But she said she thought it was my feeding time. And she heard an unusual cry. Not the cry like I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Yeah. I'm hungry. Come on, feed me. No, she heard like a danger. Help! On the real. And she got up and then she looked in the crib
and saw this big ass beast.
And seen a foot long rat.
Yikes.
Now I'm only 2 feet. You know, I'm still 24 inches. I ain't even 36. I ain't even 3 feet yet.
Right.
If I'm not tall.
Right.
Because I understand I was 10 pounds and about 22 inches. You know, so in 3 months' time.
You would have grown.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And she just went hysterical. She couldn't fight the rat, couldn't pick me up, didn't get me out the crib or nothing. But she hollering. I'm crying and fighting. But she hollering hysterically. And a brother named Horst lived right across the street from us, was going fishing early in the morning. And he heard the old earth crying as she was, and he knew the family, and he knew something was wrong. He knew that my pops wasn't in there killing my old earth the way she's screaming.
Right.
But it seemed like somebody killing her or somebody being killed. So he rushed in there and banged on the door, and the old earth couldn't even go to open the door.
Wow.
She didn't pick me up. Didn't fight the rat out.
She's in shock.
She was in shock, hysterical. Yeah. And Horst, big motherfucker, he kicked the door down and came up in there and looked at her and looked at what she was looking at. And she looking at me, and then he see the rat. But he don't go to pick me up. You know what he did? He went and got a broom. But I think my mother said that he smacked her to keep her quiet.
I
It's fuzzy.
It's fuzzy, right?
But I think he smacked her to calm her down and keep her quiet or find out what was going on. I don't remember really.
Right.
All right, but I know she said he went and got Pops and her said he went and got the broom.
Right. Came
back and beat the rat out of the crib. The motherfucker's still there, big ass man there. He had to beat him out the crib, and then he picked me up and hit me with Mom's blood and everything. I guess he must have wrapped me up or whatever.
Right.
And took me to the hospital in his car.
And you got the scars to remember.
To this day. Shit. And they told me ever since I could remember. Look how big that is. Now imagine that's on a little baby's arm.
Right.
That grew with me all my life. Look at there. There go another one. And there's one here. Wow. That's from elbow, from wrist to elbow. Bam, 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 bam.
And it's from a rat.
From a foot long rat biting me. Not gnawing, this motherfucker. He was biting me. And I'm fighting. I mean, naturally, instinctively, I'm fighting. I don't even know how to throw a jab or a hook.
Right.
You know, but look, I know how to do this. You know how baby do.
Right.
And I guess I was doing it with one because I didn't hook off on him. Bang! You know, I might have hooked off on him because I developed a natural hook. Ain't nobody taught me no hook.
No, it just came natural.
It just came natural.
Wow.
I might have hooked off on him. Come to think of it, I never even thought about that.
Right.
I might have hooked off on it.
You was like 3 months old, like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So it was like during that time, it was like a slumlord.
Cause the condition of the house, like it was. The doctor said it was a miracle that I survived. Because they said 10,000 babies got bit in New York.
10,000 babies.
10,000. This is in 48. They didn't have all that exterminating stuff, and rats was living with us.
Right.
In the ghetto.
It's part of the house.
In the ghetto, it was part of the house. In the ghetto, and they didn't have that real sanitary garbage disposal process that they got today. You know, you bag it up and all that, and they get collected and all that. Nah.
Right.
In the back of our house, in the back of our window in the tenements, everybody used to throw garbage in the basement, and it was piled up down there to the first floor.
Damn.
And we lived on the first floor.
Damn.
And the basement was sub. Like under this floor, it's a basement. Okay, in our tenement, it was a basement.
Right.
And it had a courtyard for the exposure of air, windows, and you could see the people next door and all that. But it was so much garbage piled up in the back.
Up to the first floor.
Damn near up to the first floor. We lived on the first floor.
Right. Wow.
So it was easy for them to get in the house. But they said when they showed it in the papers, and my pops,
this was in the papers.
It was highly reported, widely reported, because of the fact that I survived a vicious rat attack, and it was a foot long rat. They didn't see it, but the description of what Horst gave up, what my mom's gave up, what the landlord and the people in the neighborhood gave up. This was a beast. This was a foot long motherfucker, and I ain't over 24 inches.
Right, wow.
So he damn near as big as me.
Right. Half your size.
At least half my size. Yeah. So I'm fighting a dog, a cat, shit like that size, comparatively, excuse me. And the press was, I was in the magazine section of the Daily News, color pictures, early in 48. I was in the magazine of which Willie Mays was on the cover, and I was in the back section of the Pep magazine. That was the name of the magazine. They showed me all this. And they even went to what school I was going to go to and showed the school. They showed my godfather. His name was George, an old dude that used to have a concession stand for the ices. He had the old style ices where he shaved the ice, put it in the cup, put the flavor on it. That was my godfather George, and they showed him. And then there's a picture that I seen of me, my mother, and my sister Joyce in the hospital, Harlem Hospital, and we sitting on a bench waiting for me to be treated. And I'm buck naked. And you can see the holes on me, and I'm still crying. And I asked my mom, why we waiting? They supposed to be treating me. She said, no, they was just waiting on something bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the conditions of the time.
That was the condition of you had to wait.
No matter what.
No matter what. The paperwork, whatever, I had to wait. And then another picture, I was in a incubator joint, and you could see that they apparently cleaned the wound. And now I'm in a little crib, not an incubator. It was a little hospital bed, but it was plastic on the side, as I remember.
Right.
And I'm there, and you still can see the holes. They hadn't really treated the holes. They cleaned them, but they ain't put no bandages on them. And you can see the holes bad. You see how that is?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this. I'm saying, damn, why they still ain't treat me? They taking pictures and shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is what the Daily News or the New York Times?
The news of that time. I don't know. I ain't see. Right. I didn't know any daily news. I know the news.
Right.
So and I said daily news.
They kept the newspaper.
Yeah, they kept the clippings and all that.
Right.
Yeah, they kept the clippings because it was. It was big, and they never received no publicity of that nature before.
Right.
So it was like you keep scraps and shit like that. But I seen that they showed it to me, and that was big because they said 1,000 babies had died
by being attacked
of the nature of the attack that I received.
Wow.
Multiple wounds. I had multiple wounds.
Wow.
Babies might have got bit and they ran off one wound.
There was no such thing as suing the landlord.
Yeah, my pops sued.
Oh, your pops did sue.
Yeah, but see, pops was an entrepreneur, and this came up when I got 16 years old. I was told at 4 years old, Pops got a brand new car, and I'll never forget this. The car was a 1954 Oldsmobile, a Super Rocket 88. It was one of the newest cars on the market because it had full how you say that shit? Full functioning. That's the best way I can explain it. And it had air conditioning.
Right.
Maybe the first time they had cars, air conditioning was in 54. And Pops had one. Everybody else was getting Cadillacs. All the money men in the neighborhood was getting Cadillacs. Pop got him a air conditioned joint. And when he first got it, he put me and my brother and family in the car, but he put me in the front seat with him and put me on his lap and told me, you brought this car.
Oh, okay.
But look,
wow.
He let me steer it, and he had his foot on the pedal, and I rode it around the block, 146th Street.
And that's from the suit.
That was from the suit. I don't know this.
You don't. At the time, you didn't know it,
right? When I get 16.
That's when you
and me and Pops came back from Florida. The feds chased him out of New York for 7 years. He ran the statute of limitation.
Right.
His partner got 35 to 50 years. Pops disappeared on their ass. And that's when I went to Florida with him. But when he came back in 65, he invited me to the bar. It was called the Harlem Gardens on 146th Street, 8th Avenue. And I had a gin and coke with a lemon twist. And he liked the fact that I ordered my own drink and knew what I wanted. A gin and coke with a lemon twist. 16. I was Algie Quality. Yeah, I had knowledge. And we talked about that too. But anyway, I told him what my mom's told me because I asked my mom's as I grew up, Mom, if I got bit by a rat, where's my money? She said, you got money, but your pops took it.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, how much did he take? She said, $8,000. I'm 16. From the age of 1 to 16, that that would accumulate it.
Right.
Accrued to thousands, depending on the interest.
Right.
But anyway, it was $8,000. And me and Pops, when I told Pops with it, you know what he told me? No, son, it was only $90.
$90.
That's what he said. I say, Dad, how you gonna let them give you $90?
Right.
How you gonna let them give you $90
for attacking your baby?
Yeah. You know, but he said, no, son, it was only 90. Your mama don't know what she talking about.
Right.
Peace. Your mama don't know what she talking about. I said, nah, I ain't going for that. Mom know what she was talking about. Dad was straight up lying. You took that money. Because Pops, you know what Pops used to do? He had schemes that he used to tell my sisters that if you ever slip and fall, lay there till I come. Because we going to get that money.
He knew how to get it.
Pops knew how to get it. My brother got hit by a car one time. Pops got that money. Pops knew how to get that. So I knew he schemed that.
Wow.
Yeah, me and my sister always talk about that. Yeah.
Build a little bit about cause you came up in the 50s.
Yeah.
And now I see, like, what was the atmosphere and what was it like during that period? And now why?
The atmosphere now during that period was hustle. Right? I started hustling. Harlem. That's where I was born and raised. And I say hustle. And to give you the vibe of what I mean by hustle, that would you believe at 4 years old, I hustled in the Harlem streets?
4 years old?
4 years old. And you would be surprised who was the top man. Bumpy Johnson. I didn't know it at that time.
Okay.
Numbers was king. All the big people that had the big cars and the money was number men. And other men, but I didn't know about the other men. Like my pops, I didn't know about that.
Right.
I thought he was a gambler and a store owner. But anyway, the way this came about is that it was a guy that was a number runner called Speedy Mouse. And Speedy Mouse was known to the police. He was a number runner, meaning he collected numbers and the money and wrote the numbers and stuff like that and turned them in. But the police knew him. He was hot and he wasn't getting no big time for running numbers or getting caught for running numbers. But they got tired of the police stopping the flow of the money and the numbers. So they came up with a way to get over that. And I'm 4 years old. I'm in the street. My pops is hooked up with the high-powered money people. And a guy named Tommy Harfield. He was a number banker, lived right across the street from us. And he was Bumpy Johnson's valuable enforcer, if not one of his chief enforcers. Tommy was about that business. They was killers and money makers. But anyway, I didn't know it at the time. Tommy had asked my father, my pops, if he could use me to follow Speedy Mouse carrying envelopes for him. And Pops, you know, is a hustler. Number running was illegal, harmless illegal activity. You know, and Pops already in the street, so it wasn't nothing as long as his son is going to be safe and okay. So he said I could follow Speedy Mouse, and that's all I had to do.
Follow Speedy Mouse.
4
years old.
4 years old. I'm telling you, I was wearing short pants. I remember Tommy Harfield put in his building, right in the vestibule, put an envelope in the waistband of my short pants. You hear me? And I'm following Speedy Mouse for 2 blocks, from 146th Street, my block, at 8th Avenue, past 147th Street, to 148th Street, and turning right, and going about 3 buildings down, and follow him into a building, and Little Richard was there to take the envelope out my waistband. And that was Tommy Harfield's cousin. But Little Richard was a central banker, policy banker for Bumpy Johnson. All of them worked for Bumpy Johnson. And Bumpy Johnson headquarters at that time, or either before, was in 148th Street, where Little Richard was. So that was a big bank. So I'm with the big boys.
Right.
But I don't know none of this. But I still got to follow Speedy Mouse after Richard took the joint. And Speedy Mouse standing outside the stoop and follow him now to a shoe shine stand across the street on 8th Avenue and between 148th and 147th. And I go up there in the shoe shine stand. I sit up on the stand. I couldn't even get up there. You know, they helped me up to the shoe shine stand, sit me in the joint, and wait a while and give me a quarter. And I don't know what they went through. They might have got, they got the money right and everything, let them go. And I go about my business. Now I know the way back, but Speedy Mouse take me back down to 46. I got 25 cents. I got 3 candy stores to go shopping in. So I'm all right.
25 cents.
25 cents.
He said that was all right for
man.
Man,
you know, candy at that time, 2 pieces for a penny.
2 pieces. Oh wow.
So for a nickel, I can get 10 pieces of candy. Cookies, 2 for a penny. So for any nickel, I can get 10 pieces of candy. You know how much sodas cost? 5 or either 6 cents. And you can cash the bottle in for 2 cents. So the soda really costs 4 or either 5 cents. Because you can take that bottle and after you finish it, take it back and get a penny. So I get 2 for a cookie. You know, so
money was money.
Money was money. You know, and I can get some ice cream cone. I got a quarter.
Wow.
I can get cookies and candy. I can get the soda. I can get ice cream cone for 5 cents.
So you up with 25 cents?
I'm big with 25 cents. With Pops and them, I was only getting a nickel a day for, you know, whatever candy I was gonna get. And when I started school in September later, Mom was giving me a dime a day. Okay, I could get candy, cookies, and milk in school and shit like that. But anyway, I worked that hustling, carrying number envelopes.
Wow.
Until I went to school. That had to be about, I would say, late spring. No, the beginning of spring, maybe in April, or May to maybe the beginning of September. Then I went to kindergarten, so I couldn't do it no more.
Right.
But I passed it on to my brother, Dougie. He was next after me.
Younger brother.
Younger, yeah, he was 11 months younger than me. Pops was knocking him out. 11 months younger than me. Yeah, we was 4 years old the same year.
Wow.
Yeah, we was 1 year old the same year. We was 2 years old the same year. We was 3 years old the same year, and so forth and so forth. So I gave it to him, but on the condition that he had to give me a quarter a week.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm hustling.
So you was getting a quarter a week, right?
Yeah, only while I was working. I worked 6 days a week.
Right, but he had to give you a quarter.
Yeah, because now he making a quarter a day.
He's making a quarter a day. So
yeah.
A quarter a month. Okay.
Yeah, and I got a bonus on. Tommy gave me a bonus on Saturdays, 50 cents.
Okay.
Yeah, 50 cents was a big day.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a bonus.
You was in the money.
Yeah, because now I got movies. I go to movies on Saturday and Sunday. And movies wasn't nothing but 10 or 15 cents. You know, our movie was right there at Roosevelt, 145th Street. So now I got 50 cents on the weekend. I can spend a quarter for one movie one day and a quarter the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was doing good because there was a girl named Coochie that used to take me to the movies on the house. Every Sunday. Every Sunday.
A girl named Coochie?
Yeah, for real. Coochie.
Oh, man. Yo, Allah be, man. Yeah. Hustling at 4 years old.
Yeah.
The next one.
Yeah.
Now, Law left the mosque around the same time Malcolm, approximately a little bit before.
Yeah.
Like, what was that time period like?
That time period was one of real enlightenment for me and excitement, in that we was hearing and accepting the fact that Allah was a God, And according to the first degree, he was the original man.
So you were hearing this around because the teacher was sprinkled around.
Yeah, because it's 60. Well, I really first heard about Malcolm X in 1957.
Right, but did you hear about the student enrollment in 57?
In 1960.
In 60, you heard about the student enrollment.
Yeah.
So it was sprinkled around. It was circulating around.
Yeah, because in 60, Malcolm started the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Okay. And the first edition had Who is the Original Man on it. And I already knew who the original man was. I was about 12 years old. And my man Linwood from 111th Street, Linwood Smalls from 111th Street, had got a set of lessons. Not, the official transcribe, right, but it was handwritten in the blue book. Okay. In the blue book. And me and him and Georgie McGee used to study it. And we had names about that time, or either it was about getting names about that time. But anyway, we was reading it, and we didn't really understand how to really decipher it. But when we seen that joint of the first newspaper of the Muhammad Speaks, who is the original man? Bang! It went to that question. And now we can answer it from what we was reading, right, who the original man was. Bam! So the connection was made. So when that happened, we learned where Malcolm was, and we already knew Malcolm was at the mosque on 116th Street. Right. So I started going to the mosque about 12 years old.
Did you hear about the renegade Muslims around that time?
Nah, I didn't hear nothing about the renegade Muslims until about when we started saying that we was 5%ers.
So were they calling the 5%ers renegade Muslims, or?
As far as I knew, that's what they was calling us. Okay. It was some other dudes that was actually renegade Muslims.
Right.
The Chinese dude, I think his name was Sensei, something like that. I met him on 26th Street, I think in ABG building. ABG name was Bilal at the time. Right. And he had a lot of, power because he was teaching. And I was going to his crib, and they stopped me in the hallway with some pure bullshit. I was strong and knew what I was talking about.
You said he came with some bullshit, huh?
Pure.
The renegade Muslims.
Sensei. They was about that karate, and they knew all that. But I ain't had no fear. And they knew I ain't had no fear, and they knew that we was about yari sticks and bowie knives. But me, I came from the world where I was a little gangster. My name was Cody, and I used to have a gun ever since I was 8 years old.
Hustling at 4 and a gun at 8.
Yeah, zip gun. So they must have knew that this little motherfucker, not only did he didn't have no fear, but he had a gun too. I didn't have no gun, but they must have knew. Right. Because even when I came down here and really was advocating Joey Salam, one of the first, he knew me just on sight. When Messiah first seen me, he said, "Oh, we got a gangster in the nation now." So that was my rep, my background, and all that type of shit. But anyway, they knew that I wasn't nothing to be played with, and I wasn't going for the BS that they was kicking. They was talking about who came first, the chicken or the egg, and all that.
That confused you, basically.
Yeah. I mean, ain't no babies being born unless a seed being planted. Ain't no trees growing unless a seed is being planted. So get the F out of here with that BS. You hear me? And that's how I felt. Right. You playing with my intelligence, and it was an insult to me at that young age. Knowledge equality. For you to play with my intelligence, don't play with my intelligence. Right. And I wasn't, on it like that, but I felt it like that, and I conveyed it like that. It was 5 of them. I don't care. Don't play with my intelligence. You can't grow nothing without first planting the seed. Right. So how you gonna have a chicken before an egg? Idiot motherfucker. Excuse my expression. Right. But and look, they left the hallway, and I went upstairs to ABG crib. Bilal, his name was at the time. Right.
Now you got. I heard you say that you got knowledge before October 10th,
Yeah.
1964.
Yeah, before October 10th, before October 7th. I got it at the end of September.
The end of September. Okay. Like going towards October. Like,
Yeah, it was going to October. It was going,
but
yeah.
before October came,
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Like I said, me, Georgie McGee, and
Well, were the first born in existence by then?
I didn't know them. I knew them, but I didn't even make no connection of them having knowledge.
Okay.
I knew the Harlem Six before I knew them.
Well, the understanding I got, because you know the nation celebrates its anniversary.
That's when the father signed it.
Right.
See,
Okay,
you don't get that.
That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the father. It was said by Prince that that he said that he designated that day, October 10th, as the inception of the nation, right around the corner, right where the Harriet Tubman School is.
Right.
The father used to be a super in that building.
Oh, okay.
That building right next to 8th Avenue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the father used, that building
So he was
belonged
for housing at the time. He was working for housing.
No,
it wasn't housing.
no, it was a private owned building by Lord Dickens. And you can see Dickens, that street over here on 27th Street.
Yeah, Lord
that's
Dickens.
Lord Dickens Street.
Right.
He was a legislator, and his daughter at present is a legislator. Okay, today she's in the assembly and everything. Inez Dickens, but he owned the building. He was a real estate broker, and he used to love the father, respect him and everything.
Right.
And he gave the father the building. He was a super and shit like that.
Right.
And the father said on that step when he was teaching that day, the 10th, would be the beginning of our nation.
Okay, so the
Okay, but the 7th was Elijah's birthday. And the 7th, 1967, was the day that Messiah got it. Okay?
So you said you got a little bit before Messiah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But not directly from the Father. I don't know how that happened. God Supreme said he got it in July. I don't know how that happened.
Right. But you said you got it directly from the Father in
November. Yeah, that's when I realized that he was our leader and teacher.
Okay, so who did you hear it from in September?
I was telling you, Saheem. Yeah, he was a brother.
Not firstborn Saheem. From Medina. Okay.
No, this from Mecca.
From Mecca.
Everything was from Mecca. It wasn't no Medina. Medina didn't come until December 1964.
Okay.
All this is Mecca.
Right.
Okay, and me, Saheem, and Abdullah used to study the lessons when Abdullah got it from the Muslim brother. Okay, but we don't really know how to really handle this shit. Okay, and then Saheem went to jail on the rock. The messenger, I think, was in New York, and Saheem went to the joint and got arrested after seeing the messenger, him and a brother named Rahman. And when he came back, we were saying Assalamu alaikum. And when he came back on 146th Street, and I said Assalamu alaikum. He said, no, we saying peace. And then he told me about the 5%. He told me about the lessons, the supreme mathematics, the supreme alphabet. That's the first thing I learned.
And this is Saheem.
He on 146th Street, not downtown. The only time we used to come downtown was to see the Harlem Six, because we seen the report of them in the newspaper when they had the fruit stand riot in '63. That was April 17, 1963. But they was going to the mosque like we was going to the mosque too.
And these are the blood brothers.
The blood brothers.
The blood brothers. They were called the blood brothers. And
they didn't call themselves blood brothers. The press called them blood brothers.
The press called them.
And we was from uptown, and we liked it.
You liked the blood brothers. You liked the name. Okay.
And that's what we took on.
Okay.
You know, they never told us, no, we not blood brothers. We just took that, and when we was saying we were blood brothers, they never objected. Because I hooked up with our God and them. I wanted to roll with them. And they said, nah, you too little.
Too young.
No, not too young. They say too
little.
little.
You're too small. Huh?
And I said, yo, but Raheem. I say, look at him, I'm the same size as him. They say, yeah, but he know that shit. So when he said that, I knew that shit too, but I didn't know it as good as Raheem.
Okay.
So I respected that.
You know that shit meaning
that karate.
Karate. Right.
I learned it. My brother gave it to me when I was knowledge understanding.
Right.
And now when we kicking that, I'm about knowledge power going on knowledge equality. You know, and it turned out for the better cause they got busted with that the next year.
Right.
You know, but I was getting ready to roll with them. That's what we was about. You know.
All right. So there was one time you once told me that you went to see Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that was in 71.
71. Okay,
yeah.
So that was before you got.
Just before. No, I had knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge already. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now I remember you said you threw a degree at him.
Knowledge guard degree.
The knowledge guard degree.
Ali was there.
Meaning civilization.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it was February 17th, 71. I never forget it. You know, and this was the first fight he had with Joe Frazier. On March 8th, I think they fought. And Ali was making appearances at college campus. And he made an appearance at the University of Massachusetts College. University of Massachusetts. And Aleem and Dumas was going there. And I was going there, but I was running from the police in New York. And they was harboring me. So I was up there on the campus with them. That was the best place to hide.
It was amongst the students.
For real.
Yeah, right.
All right, and they had the flag in their window and the dome and everything. We was rocking. And after Muhammad Ali's presentation at the Student Union Hall, he signed autographed pictures for $5. And it was about 3,000 students there. And most of them was Caucasian. And it was a contingent of blacks, and that was us and the brothers and sisters. And we didn't have the $5. So we couldn't get no autographed pictures. You know? So that's where I approached him when he was getting in the window. He was getting ready to get in the Winnebago.
Wow.
And he was back there speaking to now just the black students. So now we were amongst the brothers and the sisters, and I asked him, yo, I mean, how come you charge the price of $5 for them pictures and brothers and sisters ain't got no money for that, man? I mean, you supposed to know the meaning of civilization. You didn't even come from that perspective.
Right.
So, you know what he said? That, brother, I'm not teaching that, and you wouldn't wake up the morning if the Muslims heard you say that.
Oh, wow, he said
that?
Yeah. Wow.
And look, when he said that, I got kind of hostile. I'm not gonna fight this individual,
right.
But I got kind of hostile, and he don't know me. I carry pistols all my life. All right, and Ali was here. He'll tell you, Dumas and everything. But anyway, he got the I would say fronting like Ali got the mouth bulbusters and he could handle his shit.
Right.
But he was fronting, and his brother Rahman got in between us and put him on the Winnebago, and they stepped off. Yeah, but I mean,
he said he don't teach that. You know,
he didn't. He didn't say nothing about what the meaning of civilization
was. But he's supposed to know that.
On the knowledge God day, you got to teach. And they wasn't teaching. That's why the Muslims didn't like us, because we gonna teach them lessons. And at that time, they wasn't teaching the lessons unless you came to the mosque. And that's why they got real angry at the father, that the father brought them lessons in the street. And he got them from the mosque,
right?
But he didn't leave them in the mosque,
right.
Like they did.
Right.
And that was our real dispute, not just about Farad. We didn't even argue about Farad. They argued to us about teaching. No, you can teach that in the mosque. You can't teach that out there. Nah, this is knowledge and it's free. And we free and independent to teach it as we please. And we got it from Allah.
Wow, they said they didn't want to teach it.
They didn't.
They
didn't. That was our biggest beef. Captain Joseph used to mess with us about teaching them lessons. He didn't stop that until the father came home. And then he started messing with us about getting busted by the police with those names. Right. And he complained it to the father. And that's when the father
changed the name from Muslim names.
Yes. To righteous names.
Righteous names, right.
Righteous names. Mathematical names.
Mathematics and
our universal names, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But the father took it a little further and said that he also wanted us to distinguish ourselves with our own names that nobody else knew except us, like they did with Muhammad in 1400 years ago with the attributes of Allah.
Right. Well, see, that brings me to another question, because I heard that like names, now my name's Allah Infinite, like names like Infinite didn't come around until Robert Walker.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't have those names.
So can you build on that? Like, when did Robert Walker appear on the scene?
Robert Walker came on the scene real early. His name was Abdullah.
Early, like in 64?
64, 65. He was in Mecca.
He was a Muslim?
He was a 5%. He was a straight up 5%.
Straight up 5%.
A dynamic 5%. That had a crib and everything in. That was our brother. And something happened where he went to jail. When he went to jail, he was in Manawa with the father in 66, 67, maybe even 65. I don't know, but I know he was there in 66. I seen him out the window, and he came home in 67. I was here when he came home. And when he came home, he had changed. And I learned by speaking to him why he changed. And he changed, maybe his head got fucked up, excuse my expression, because of his ego. But he said that when the father was there, he was one of the first to take on the name of Allah. His name was Allah the Son. The first one that took a name of Allah was a brother named Si Allah from Medina. Okay.
Old man See Allah, right?
Nah, not that dude. He wasn't even around.
Okay.
He didn't even
See Allah. Okay, you say See
Allah.
Yeah,
right. See Allah, not that dude. He wasn't in Manawa with the father.
Okay.
This See Allah name used to be Shara. He was in Manawa with the father. He was the first one in Manawa to master 120, even before Robert Walker. Okay, and C was serious, but he must have left during the time of the father. But anyway, while the father was there, Robert Walker mastered 120 and took on the name Allah the Son, right? And now when he took on the name Allah the Son, when the father left Manawa, right, in March 20th, they shipped him to the tombs, and he stayed there 5 days from the 20th to the 24th. And he came out in the street on the 24th, 67. But anyway, people was coming after March 20th to Manawa. And they was looking for the father. And they was asking, where's Allah? And some of them told him he left. And some of them told him that he's in the other building. And they was making reference to Allah the Son, not to Allah the Father. Because Allah the Father went home.
Right.
And they might have not got that. Allah the Father went home, but Allah the Son is over there. So when they was being directed over there to Allah the Son stopped saying he was Allah the Son. You know what he started saying? He was God Allah. Or either Allah in the wisdom body.
I heard about Allah in the wisdom body.
Okay.
So he went from Allah the Son to Allah the wisdom body.
Right. So when he came home from Manawa, you know the first place he came? The Pelon. My neighborhood. Right?
So you had moved to the Pelon by then?
Yeah, I was in Pelon in 67, 60. I moved to Pelon in 64.
64. Okay.
Yeah, but I really started teaching in 64, but I really had raised a nation in 67.
Okay.
You know, we had a stronghold in 64, 65, and then in 67.
So you got the knowledge in Mecca here.
Yeah.
First, then went to Pelon, moved to Pelon.
Yeah, 64.
64.
In September 64 to be exact.
Oh, wow. So that's basically the same time you got
Same
knowledge.
time.
You went
I moved, that's right.
You moved Pelon. Okay.
Yeah. But when he came up to Pelon, he came with that Robert Walker stuff.
He came with the name Robert Walker. Or,
no, his name was Allah.
Allah,
Allah's son.
Allah's son. Allah's son and the wisdom body.
No, he wasn't saying the wisdom body.
Okay.
He tried to say that. And when he said it, I told him that he couldn't be at Pelon with that. He had to go somewhere else. And in between that time, that night, it was me, you, Allah, CLR that was in Manawa with him, maybe Wakim, and my role partners, you, Allah, brother. It was 4 of them. But look, they sat on the bench, on the couch with him, with Robert Walker, and they had me in the hot seat. And look, when I finished, them 4 was sleeping. And when they woke up, Robert Walker was gone. And he left from there and went to Medina. And they woke up and asked me where he at. I said, why, you want to go with him? Because he out of here, he gone. Talking that Allah and the wisdom body shit. Yeah. But he did raise some people.
He raised some people. Like I'm hearing, like I'm still hearing his name.
In Pelon.
In Pelon. Okay, so
first he got Rod Tuck. He got a brother named Jeru, and maybe some other brothers. About 4 of them. Okay. And they broke out, went to Medina, and that's where he raised the firstborn Muslims.
Now, was a student?
Not in Pelon.
One of the students was Katenga.
Yeah, Katenga.
Katenga was a student.
I chased him out of New York.
And I was in Medina.
That was in Medina.
Now, what was that? Because I heard he raised up a couple of people.
He did. He raised what they call the Ali family.
The Ali family.
And I chased him out of the parliament. He got up there and said he was Allah. And I said, nah.
And what year was that?
That was in 68. No. 70.
70, okay.
That was in 70. I said, nah, 70. No. You maybe in Philadelphia, because you all washed up in New York. And you know where I got that from? It was a commercial, a Brillo pad commercial. And the Brillo pad, the weak Brillo pads was no good. And the good Brillo pad, the Brillo pad say, you all washed up in New York. Try Philadelphia. Wow. And that's what I told him.
Wow.
And there's people that remember that. Because I was in the back of the auditorium and he was up there with a whole bunch of them followers, the Ali crew, and he said that. And I screamed from the back. You hear me? And nicked him in the head and he broke out. Because see, he was a problem that Allah detected October 29th, 1967. And the reason why I remembered it, because the father said at the parliament he was going to form a doom squad. Because a lot of these brothers needed that type of enforcement. And he called us here to the street academy. And it was 16 of us. And the way that he determined that he had sent Rajab out to all the places where we had strongholds. And Rajab went to all the places and found the 16 different spots. And told each one of us to come to the meeting that the father was forming for the Doom Squad. Because we was the heads of that area. And when we came, the father came and told us that he wasn't going to make no Doom Squad. Because none of us was qualified. And he told
qualified.
That's what he said. And he gave us the story of who was the most qualified. And that was Shasha from Medina. Hey, you're not going to close doors. Man, yo. You're not going to close doors, man, if you're civilized. Go through the back.
Can you build on Pelon and why it was given the name Pelon?
Well, I tell you, from our history, the name Pelon was designated Pelon because the first person in the history of the nation that bear witness to the Father, his name was John 37X. that was Shahid. And Shahid, as attribute, means the witness. So he witnessed.
John.
Thank you. The father building, not only in the mosque, but he was teaching a brother in Queens when they were selling Muhammad Speaks newspaper. I think it was at Jamaica Center, that he was a law. He got the Muhammad Speaks newspapers, his lapel button and the bow tie and suit on, and they out there, as they call fishing, selling papers. And the father was manifesting to the man that he was a law and showing and proving. And Shahid bared witness. And the place that Shahid, the witness, lived was in Pelon, which is called Patmos in Revelation. So the father know the signs. They said that the father was a high scientist in the mosque, advanced fruit of Islam, a student minister under Malcolm X. And he signs that up and designated Pelon as Patmos was called in Revelation,
Right. They say with the
according to the witness. Yeah.
Pelon is the name of the place where the devil is manufactured.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but in Revelation 1:9, Patmos.
Right.
And it was equivalent to Pelon. So from the revelation of Patmos, it was Pelon where the devil was manufactured. But that wasn't in reference to Shahid being manufactured. However, Shahid turned out to be the provocator of the father getting shot in the first instance. And Shahid turned out to be one who poisoned Allah's first fruit. You know, a lot of people don't realize it, but I ain't afraid to tell it, that Messiah, Bismillah, and Yahara was introduced to Heron by Shahid, who turned out to be, as he said in his own words, strung out like a research monkey. He wrote that in his book, The Naked Truth.
Naked Truth, wow.
He said he was strung out. He was a dope fiend, strung out like a research monkey.
Wow.
And I seen him in the dope program. He came to recruit me one time to do some stick up for Shahid.
Right. Yeah.
For some dudes that was hooked up with the Italians from 116. A dude named Chick. He came to recruit me for $80,000 diamond heist in the Diamond District. And Justice saved me from whatever it was going to be. You know, because he seen me with him in front of the school. He was in the drug program and came from the drug program to the school to recruit me for the heist. And when Justice seen me with him, you know how Justice approached me? What you doing with that nigga? And it shocked me. And I thought Justice came at him like that because they once had a dispute about a woman.
Right, yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, and I thought that's why Justice came. But Justice didn't come at me like that because of the dispute with no woman. He came at me because he knew what happened with Messiah, Bismillah, and Yahara being introduced to Heron by him. And he knew that Shahid was the provocator of the father getting shot the first time. Okay, when I say, what I mean by the provocator is that Shahid is the one that was extorting people out here on this avenue and claiming that if they didn't give them whatever he wanted, that the 5%ers was going to get him. You know, so the provocation was that anybody that wanted to do something to the father, now they got some people that want to do something to the 5%ers because here's a 5%er extorting him. So they go to the leader as opposed to the guy that was actually extorting him. And Shahid wasn't extorting them with no 5%ers. He was extorting them with a dude named Pop, who was a junkie too, and a dude named Billy, who was alcoholic. And they did get shot that night with the father, Pop and Billy. But you think Shahid got shot? No. He claimed when the dude put the gun towards him, it click. That's what he claimed. But they didn't come for him. They came for the father and incidentally shot Pop and Billy. And I know Pop. I knew Pop and Billy. They was older than me. They was Shaheed people, but Pop and Billy loved to defy the sinners. You know? But yeah, and that's where that designation of Pelon came from Shaheed and his shit.
Shit, no.
But at the time, we really didn't know it. But I tell you, the guards from Medina really picked up on it before the guards in Mecca. Because when the father got shot that first time, they called Shaheed Yaqub. And we didn't. We was like, I don't know, maybe it was because of Messiah and Bismillah and Yahara and their relationship with Shaheed. But the guards from Medina, and mind you, they just got knowledge. Yep, less than a week after the father got shot. It wasn't no more than a week. Maybe a week and a couple of days.
We got December 19th.
December 19th. The father got shot December 8th. Yeah, but they knew. I don't know how, why, or what.
They was calling him Yaqub.
They called him Yaqub. They called him, and we wasn't in Mecca.
So when they say this is the place where the devil's manufactured,
yeah, he was up there. That was justified.
It's justified.
His actions. We didn't know about the dope. We didn't know about the real provocation. But when that happened, the guards in Medina knew, and they got it secondhand because the guards in Mecca was here, and they didn't get it until it happened. And the one who gave it to them was Bilal, and he went to see the father in the hospital with Prince ABG. You know, and Bilal was advanced. Yeah, he was advanced.
Okay. We touched on this a little bit, but I'll get into detail. Like now, Law got to school in July '67.
Yeah.
Right. Was the Urban League involved immediately? Or like how did the programs go?
It was involved immediately because when it was set up, the father with his foresight had to get us off the street and get us into the next level of our knowledge advancement. And the next level of our knowledge advancement, as he taught, was that we had to get a skilled trade of profession at higher levels of the educational system to come back and build a nation, you know, as proficiently as we could. And that means that we had to learn knowledge first. So you had to get the knowledge of whatever skill, trade, or profession that we may have wanted to acquire to come back to build a nation. You know, as pros, experts, you know, being proficient in doing, not just getting information and come back and doing something with it and effing it up. We had to get it and come back and, but that was after we got the knowledge itself. First, this is why I got the Street Academy, is that we had to master the Double Six. And in mastering the Double Six, we had to get a high school diploma or either a GED. And that's where he opened up the school for a GED program.
Right.
And then he made the next connection with the headmaster of Harlem Prep for college-bound institutions. You know, and I seen him do all them steps, and I participated. I was one of the first students at a law school in Mecca. You know, I was one of the second wave of those at Hayat, but I was one of the first qualified that he sent to Harlem Prep, along with Dumar and Umla. Yeah, us street was the first street to go to Harlem Prep. At least to go to register. I didn't get in the first time.
Like you told me, like the
first
time.
Dr. Ben.
Dr. Ben.
I told him about, I smoke herb. And I told him I experimented with it. I didn't say I smoked.
You said experiment.
I experimented. At least I smoked the joint. Right. I'm trying to be truthful. I smoked pounds of that shit. But I want him to like, yo, I'm telling you the truth. that I did experiment with it.
Right.
You know, but he said, nah, just that experimentation. Now you might be a risk. He didn't say that.
He didn't say it to you.
But that it was tantamount to me being a failure. He thought maybe I might do something that would make the school look bad. And from his perspective, I realized that at that time, I hated on him. I didn't like it. You know, I was supposed to get in with my brothers.
Right.
You know, they smoke reefer too.
They smoke reefer too.
They smoke with D.
But they didn't
tell him. They didn't tell him. I should have kept my mouth closed.
Wow.
I shouldn't have been as truthful.
Wow.
Yeah, but they told me, I didn't tell him, I ain't telling that shit, And they went on and got in and graduated. They was two of the first to graduate from Island Prep. And got money when the father returned. In fact, the father seen them. That was his signal that he had did his job. Because that happened they graduated on June 9th, 1969, on the born day, an equality born year.
Right, so he got to see that.
He's seen that. Right here. The ceremony was in front of Teresa Hotel, 125th Street, in the street. And the father seen that right down the block from where he was building. And 3 days later, 4 days later, on the Knowledge Understanding Day, he went home. But they was on their way to college. And mind you, God, this is real. We was thugs, hoodlums, and whatever you want to call some wayward motherfuckers. We was the epitome of them. Right here from Harlem.
To the downtrodden.
The downtrodden, we was the ones. I'm talking about the stick up, the heroin, whatever. We was getting money that way. And we was getting it big for teenagers at that time, because prior to our crop of teenagers, they wasn't wearing gaiters and silks and diamond rings and beginning to drive cars. Until that crop, you can check out, anybody that came around that time before. The teenagers wasn't getting it like that. The teenagers wasn't selling no drugs, because the drugs that was being sold prior to that time was by older guys. And most of them was musicians and people in that world. But we was the first to come out like that. We was on that crest where we was getting it from the best teachers in black culture. Malcolm X, Dr. Ben, Dr. Cloud, Dr. Kenneth B. Cloud too. Right? He was national. He was the one that did that study with the black dolls and the white dolls that was used in the segregation case of 1954. That Dr. Bennett Cloud. In fact, his big joint is over that big building.
Right.
That's his building. Right? But he was one of the teachers. He was the first one, director of How You At, the first anti-poverty program in the world. Cut for a minute, man.
Allah, if you could build on Allah giving universal flags to sympathizers that weren't necessarily a part of the nation during that time, like he would give it to Lindsey Barry got there and then other.
Okay, you say sympathizers, but you really don't know, cause
the reason why I say because I got that from Allah.
There was some flags on the table, and the father told me, go ahead, look through the flag, see if a flag was there. And I noticed there was a flag there with names like Stephen. God, that always stuck in my head. And I was like, Stephen, what else? So I asked Father, Stephen? He said, yeah, son. He said, that's something you know nothing about. You'll learn. He said, you'll learn. He said, we got sympathizers that's just as great as y'all.
Okay, it was a shock that I was hit with March 30th. 2019. Sid Davidoff. You know who he was?
Yes.
Okay. He was
when he spoke. Yeah, right.
You remember what he said?
I have it recorded.
He said he was a 5%er.
It's true. The father had me, or Allah had me, admitted into the 5%ers of this Jewish Caucasian, and say I am the only living 5%er who is Jewish Caucasian.
a Caucasian Jewish 5%er.
Right.
And the father gave him a flag.
Right.
And you say sympathizers. No, the father taught people that was of other persuasions, and you might have took them as a sympathizer, like Mayor Lindsay, Barry Garter, and them. But to them and the teachings that the father gave them, you know what they was? 5%ers, Muslim sons. Okay.
Did they call themselves Muslim sons?
Did you hear the guy say? No, listen.
No. I got to record it.
You know the knowledge equality degree?
Yeah. Yes. I think,
okay, so they wasn't a civilized person as we say we are. They wasn't the Muslims like those under Elijah's.
Muslim sons.
Yeah, but they was Muslim sons. I mean, it's evident. Okay, but the man got up there, and I always used to think that he was against us.
You thought Sid Davidoff was
I thought Sid Davidoff was against us.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Because I seen him do a tape one time, and I got the impression that he was calling the father a crazy man.
The night of 1968, when Martin Luther King was killed and the news first came across, Barry Goddard, who is now deceased, and I, who were partners in doing the things in the streets for Lindsay, went up to a bar called the Shalimar on 126th and Lenox, where the 5%ers, and that's a whole nother history, who the 5%ers were a movement that started in the prison system, really. So there's a lot of ex-cons, and their leader was a guy named Allah. And we had formed a relationship with him for quite a period of time. Helped develop programs for him. He was crazy in a way, but he was also someone who was respected by a group of individuals that was difficult to get to. The police didn't want to get to him. There was no one else. They were outcasts. And he brought them in, and we had a relationship.
I think I did see that.
But I looked at it again after he made that statement that he was a 5%er, and I seen the context, in which he said it. That they said that when he read the report that he was a crazy man. That's how they said it.
He was crazy in a way, but he was also someone who was respected.
But to him, this was Allah. But when I first heard him say it on the tape,
I recall
it looked like to me that he was calling the father a crazy man.
He was crazy in a way, but he was also someone who was respected.
But it wasn't. He was repeating what he had read in their reports.
Now that's something that I have to go back, because I do remember seeing. I didn't make the connection that was the same individual. That said that he would come up to Harlem with Mayor Lindsay and
during the riot.
During the riots from Martin Luther King.
He did.
And that he said that there was that man named Allah, and he said, from what I recall, saying, he was a little crazy. Yeah. But he had things in check.
Exactly.
Right.
He was crazy in a way, but he was also someone who was respected.
They said he was a little crazy, but he had things in check.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mayor Lindsay
wanted to make that made it clear. Connection with him.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I gotta make that, go back and look at the video.
Yeah, you can see it. I had to go back after he said that. And the father, see, a lot of people don't realize that when we first got the flags, it was not one of us had to quote a degree to the father. Not one.
Right. So now that's what I was wanting to ask you about.
You know what he asked? What he asked us? Our name. What we want? What you want on your flag? What name do you want on your flag, son? And we told him, and it was a sister recorded it. I think it was for Mel. She worked in the mayor's office, in Barry Garter's office. The father got her a job, and the father was strategic. He got her a job in Barry Garter's office so that she can get anything that came across his desk, Barry Garter's desk, with the father's name on it. And that's what she was in there for. Anything that came across Barry Garter's desk, the mayor's assistant, executive assistant, with his name on it, get it. And I seen reports that the father gave me to read that had his name on it, and Femel got them. And Femel told me how she used to get them. That she used to, when it came, what she used to do was note it, right? Put it on stash and wouldn't copy it that night and come back the next day, first thing in the morning before everybody, and hit it, bam, and put it back where she got it from and leave it there. Now when she go on lunch, she go stash it in one of them with them lockers. Remember them lockers? Yeah, she go stash lockers on lunch, right, and stash it in the locker and go back to work. And if she got caught, anybody look at her working papers or whatever, she ain't got nothing. It's already out of the building. At a time when they don't even suspect that she took something because they ain't checked her lunch and all that type of shit. But anyway, the father put her in position for that. All right, and she was recording the names. So not one of us had a quoted degree to Allah.
So when did it become a requirement?
It never became a requirement until some brothers instituted for whatever reason to have power over somebody else. But they didn't get that from the father. That ain't an example that he set. They got that because somewhere along the line they wanted to have power over the next man.
Well, I mean, do you think it was because, like, at a time, like when the father returned, like there were brothers who were coming and kind of like trying to infiltrate?
It wasn't. That's bullshit. I was here. I couldn't even tell you one brother that was coming to try to infiltrate anything because we was threatened. Niggas wouldn't even think about coming around us.
Right.
Look, Robert Walker's a perfect example. Right? He came with that firstborn Muslim shit, and he was taught by the father. And the first day that he came home, he was chased the fuck from amongst us. Excuse my expression, sis, but he was chased from amongst us the first day. That's how sharp we were. A person wasn't laying around us with no BS.
Right.
And Robert Walker was highly qualified. When before he went to Manawa, he had a crib, and we used to go to his crib and smoke and everything. And he was qualified. He had the teachings. But he went buggy somewhere along the line.
Right. Well, there's the guy, Ramel Supreme. I was building with him one time. He was saying, like, the quality ciphers, 5% was strong. The 70s, they were strong. It was like a family.
Right.
Like, and then in the 80s, it became something different. It became more like, money over brotherhood.
Because the whole black nation in America got on that
get money.
Me shit. Me shit, yeah. That capitalist, private, entrepreneur bullshit. And went away from the brotherhood. But remember that in the 60s, in the 50s, it was struggle. Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and all of that. Then Malcolm on the scene, and all of that. Then in the 60s, we started riding. Yeah, from 63. The first ride I remember was a fruit stand ride with the Harlem 6, and then 64, the Harlem ride. Then 65, the Lexington Avenue ride. Then the Watts ride. Then the Detroit ride. Then the Newark ride. And we was riding, dancing in the street, as Martha and the Vandellas used to sing. But when they sung that to us, dancing in the street meant riding in the street. We was black and beautiful. Sophie Carmichael and H. Rat Brown. Burn, baby, burn. They went from the Student Nonviolent Committee to Black Power. That's the forces that we was working with. On the national level, black nationalism, the nation. That's all we was working with. Nation, brotherhood, building, and stuff like that. Then the government countered that with the drugs. Yeah. They made the drugs so easily accessible that before it used to be in the hands of older black men and women.
Kids,
and then they hit the kids, the teenagers. That's when they really hit the teenagers, us, my group. When we was getting that knowledge, dope was in our face. I had to stop selling dope to get the knowledge, for me. Because our God used to be selling herb. And we was going to fight. You know why we was going to fight? Because I went on 143rd Street. I was 14. And I was clean. I had on a black silk. No, I had on a black mohair suit. I think silk and mohair, pinstripe, and I had on a pair of gaiters. I'm 14 years old, brand new gaiters. Look, and it was one of the first type of pair of gaiters that was made with a more pointed toe. They call them hards. Before they used to call them wingtip shape with a biscuit toe. Gators was fat biscuit toe, like old men, but they was bad. But I was one of the first youth that got it streamlined, a tie-in made, and I was clean. $27 at that time. Knit shirts just started coming out. AJ Lester, all that type of shit. I was right. And I used to carry a gun, but I didn't have no gun that day. And I went to buy some herb, and they used to sell Obamas, big joints for $1. Didn't even have to buy no bag. You could break the one joint down and make 3 joints. You know, $3 you could make 9 joints, but they was bombers. You hear me? Yeah. And I went to iGuard. iGuard was working for Freddie, Bob, and Bishop. 3 dudes that I knew, and they knew me, and they used to sell it to me. But I went to get it, and iGuard was in the hallway, and he was selling it now for them. And he wouldn't sell it to me. You know why? Because he told me that he don't sell it to pregnant women and anybody younger than him. And I never heard that before in my life. His name was, what we call him? Not Sleepy. We call him Sleepy. That was his name, Sleepy. And I said, yo, man, you not going to take my money? He said, no, I don't sell it to no pregnant women and nobody younger than me, and you younger than me. And you can't get it. I said, man, if you come out that hallway, I'd take all your shit.
Oh, shit.
Yo, he said, if you come in here, I'll beat your ass. So we had a Mexican-American standoff. But somebody told the dudes he was working for, Bob and Bishop and Freddie, that Cody getting ready to shoot Sleepy. I ain't had no gun, but that was my reputation. And at that time, I had a 38 Colt, military Colt special, built on the 45 frame. And mind you, they didn't even have no automatic weapons in '63. But I, 14 years old, I had one. Yeah, so it was real blah 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 talk. That motherfucker he got the shit.
He gonna shoot.
Yeah. You know, I ain't shot nobody then at that time. But anyway, he wouldn't sell it to me. They came, straightened it out, and got the jerk from him and gave it to me on the house. And that's how we got tight. Because I remembered the moral that he had. Up until that time, I had morals, but not practicing morals. You know? I had morals that I got from Pops, Moms, what I heard, you know, from Malcolm and all that type of shit, doing right. But street morals and buying and selling marijuana, which wasn't no drug does, but buying and selling it. Here's a black youth like me, he got a reason not to take this money, and I couldn't understand that. You out here hustling to get money, and you got a reason not to take it. And the reason why you're not taking it is because of the concern for the next person. Pregnant women that got babies, and anybody younger than you. And I say, God damn, like boom, and that made me have some personal street morals now. And that came from my God. So when he did become the Blood Brothers, it was easy connecting. Because I knew he already been there and done that. And that's where I wanted to go. You know? Yeah.
How much older was he again?
He was only a year older than me. Two at the most.
2 at the most. Wow. So you a young boy.
I was young.
I gotta give it to you. So 2 years younger. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. So he might have been 16 by the time. Like
no, I was 14.
He was 14. So
I just graduated from junior high school. I was getting ready to go to high school that September. I was clean. I had my graduation suit on. It was in June. I was clean. I'm a party.
You want to have a little, all
of that.
Have a little something.
I had money and all that. Something. Had a big trophy. Just got the Floyd Patterson award from the school and all that. Yeah, that's the same year.
He denied it. Nah, little man.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And they told him, yo, this is Cody, man. Don't do that, man. That motherfucker shoot you. But he wasn't caring nothing about that. Look, I got principle, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. After Allah returned to the essence in 1969, the nation was sort of like a depression. Can you build about that time and, that time period leading up into the first Sean Prove?
Yeah. That was that time period. You put it in its right perspective, too, because the Father told us and gave us warning what you're going to do when I, go. I think you said go home. And it was a real question. So when it happened, and he told me we was going to be dead for a year. Yeah. He said, but a lot of people don't know, but you're going to revive them. You're going to bring them back. And I didn't understand that. And he used to tell me that he'd say things to me that you won't understand until years later. And that's how he used to tell me. God Supreme was with me when he used to say that he gonna tell us things that we ain't gonna understand until years later. But I ain't understand that at all.
Right.
But at any rate, yeah, when he got assassinated, it was a terrible, terrible blow. And he told us that we was gonna be dead for a year. And in essence, we was dead for a year, and the thing about it is that a lot of us went to a dead product. Heroin, dope, 1969. I used to sell it, and I hadn't sold it maybe for 5 years, 1965, or maybe then the 64, 65, I stopped selling it. Because I went to that knowledge, got that knowledge. But I picked it up again after the father got assassinated in August. And my excuse was, in July, 1 month after. And my excuse was that I was going to get some guns for the nation because we're going to do work. Serious. And at the time, it wasn't no excuse. But it later became an excuse because when I started selling it again, I started getting money again. And I was teaching and was giving a lot of money to the youth. And that brother that just came here, Rubar, that looked in here,
right.
He the one that woke me up. Because now we got the guns, or at least some of them, and I'm still selling the drugs. And I'm selling it away from the children, but they still gravitating toward me because I done taught them and I'm responsible for them. And then one Friday night, the police came and they ran up on me. And I went in the hallway, and that brother there, Rubar, he was about knowledge culture. I was about knowledge born. And knowledge wisdom cipher. And I hit him with 5 bundles of dope and told him to hold it for me. I had an aluminum foil and told him to hold it for me. And he held it for me. He was about knowledge culture, thoroughbred. And the police came, searched me, and talked that shit. I had a lot of money, but I didn't have singles. I always used to change my money for 5, 10s, and 20s and try to get 100. But anyway, I used to have bills, not singles. Because you have singles, they gonna know you hustling. But I got a job and I had stubs and all that. Them anti-property stuff. But anyway, I thought about what I did in passing them drugs to Rhubarb. Yeah, the baby was 14. And God hit me in the head again. I'm putting the baby in jeopardy. And I was putting the baby in jeopardy for money because I had made enough money to get the guns, and we had the guns, and I'm still selling dope. Yeah, so I got that back from him. I told him I'd never do that again, and you can forget about that. And I got my shit together because it was mine. I didn't have to work. I wasn't working for nobody. I never worked for, like my pops used to say, man, if you're gonna do anything, you got to be the boss. You know, so that woke me up. And when that woke me up, it still didn't hit me, because dealing with dope is dealing with death, and drugs is drugging, you make you dead.
Right.
So we sleep, and it didn't really hit me that we was dead as a nation because we didn't do nothing new. When the father was here, we used to do the parliament and the bus rides, the polo and stuff like that. All that he established. And that's what we was riding, what he established. But he had got assassinated and he was gone. And if we was alive, then we had to establish something new, showing our new life as he did. When he came home, he made everything new. A new school, new trips, new shows, new everything. New clothes, everything. You know, everything about the father, it was growth and development. Everything.
Right.
And he put us down. He got to school. They asked him, did he want anything? They offered him, do you want anything to stop teaching? Or do you want anything, for yourself? He said, no, I don't want nothing for me. I want a school for...
It's 5%.
Yeah. And that's how he got to school. So it was always something that he was building. I remember he gave us a cocktail party. We ain't know nothing about no cocktail parties. We teenagers. When he came home, I was Knowledge Bill. We ain't know nothing about no cocktail party. He introduced us to the cocktail party to socialize, to sit down and relax and enjoy yourself.
Right.
Take all that off of you. He gave us the bus trips so that we can get out the city and expand our mind. He said, travel broadens the scope. You're going to see new places, and new places you're going to see new faces, and with new faces, you're going to have new experiences. And that's what all that was about. So we didn't have that. And it went on and went on and went on to the extent that a lot of brothers and sisters disappeared. And like me, a lot of them went to dope, but they didn't go to dope like I did and selling it. They went to it and using it. And our numbers dwindled.
Right. It was a dark period.
It was a dark period.
Yeah.
And what really helped me is that I didn't stay in Mecca, I stayed in Pilon. And I got them babies, and that's when he sent me. I seen him June 11th, and he chased me from here about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you say, now that's a story. I've heard about it. Can you elaborate on it?
Yeah, after I used to teach in Pilon, I always used to come down to Mecca to build and see with the father. And hang out with him in the basement or hang out with him in the school and just be around him.
Right.
Because I know I'm going to get some magnetic, some light,
Right.
some power, some truth. But this day, on June 11th, as soon as I came to the door, I don't know if the door was open or not, but I heard him say, don't touch that motherfucking door, or something like that. I know he said motherfucker. And I just froze, and I was shocked. Because he always was happy to see me, always. And I turned around, and he ain't let me in the school, right out there in the front. And he told me, didn't I tell you to stay up in Pilon and teach? Them babies, that's who need you. I don't need you here. And he telling me roughly, he's speaking to me rough.
Right. With stern words.
Stern. That you got to get this message.
Right.
I don't need you here. And you go and take all of them back up there with you. You all of them was with me. My road partner. He said you all was my captain. Y'all go back up there, and we left. But while he's getting in my ass, and when the father used to speak, everybody paid attention. Us and anybody that was around. But it was one dude, a little short black dude, walked by, and he didn't pay the father no attention. and he looked in the school. Now I noticed that the lights was out. The father never used to cut the lights out until 10 o'clock. And this was about 8:30. But I looked and the lights was out. And when I paid attention to the dude, because of the strangeness of him not even looking at Allah, he just looking in the school. And I looked at him, and the father grabbed my attention away from him, and the guy kept going. But now I got the father got my attention, and now he directed me down this block, 126th Street, towards the subway, and chased us out of Mecca. That was the last time I seen him. But
that was June 11th.
That was June 11th. You know, and that was like letting me know, and I really didn't pick up on it, that he didn't need me in Mecca no more. Okay, so I wasn't coming to Mecca after he got assassinated on the regular. I was staying in Pilon. And that's what like kind of got me going back up after being shot and feeling that depression of being knocked down in that stupor.
Right.
And them babies, like that brother Rhubarb, when I gave him that package, I realized that, damn, boy, I'm giving him the wrong shit. You know, and I had to cut that loose. Then when I cut that loose, I got other people that's 5%ers with me that's still doing it. And they kept on going. And one of the brothers, he was catching bad deals because he was just about greed. You know, but anyway, I realized that, damn, but we got to do something with the school, because the school felt it wasn't no teaching. It wasn't no activity here. The guards in Mecca,
right,
they just disappeared.
Right.
Only a few.
Like I said, dark. It
was dark.
Time, yeah.
The only ones that like stayed around was Al Jabba, my man, Prince. God Supreme brother. Not that Prince.
No,
Prince was just as fucked up as everybody else. Al Jabba, God Supreme brother. Dubai, our other road partner, and young God Supreme used to be with us, and the brother Ahmed from downtown, and Amar Education, and Knowledge Allah, Dahu, Bryant, David Bryan, and that crew. The father's son started messing with drugs. ABD became alcoholic. Dalu started messing with drugs. Messiah and them was already junkies while the father was on the set. Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers don't know that. But they had left in end of 67, 68. They was already gone. So it was like really, really dismal. You know? But I'm teaching them babies, and I brought them down here. And we populated the school. Amar Education started teaching the math. I started teaching biology, and a sister named Louasia from Pilon taught first aid. And the father's sister, Bernice, used to come occasionally and help her with first aid, because Bernice was a nurse, and she loved her brother. And then a sister named Mary, Miss Mary, used to be a barmaid over here in the World Work Bar. She loved the father. She used to come and help this sister with first aid. So we started having activity again. But it wasn't like with the father on the set.
Right.
You know, so we started moving again. And what really helped us, and this is serious, it was music. That in 68, Amar Education and Knowledge Allah wrote The Enlightener. But it really wasn't no music to it other than the way that we sang it a cappella. And then God Supreme had a cousin, came from Georgia, and he had what the reel, the first tapes, the reel. And he brought it here, and he had a lot of good music on it, like a DJ. He had serious, but it was reel. And you could erase it and tape over it. And we got in here one night around 1970. It had to be around, I think it was maybe in August or September after we started school, and started playing it and started singing the Enlightener. And Amar Self, the guard that established the nation in Philly,
Right.
he used to blow the flute. And El Shakim, he went to Harlem Prep with us. He used to sing a real high tenor. So when and the guards was beating the tables and shit. So when we were singing Enlightener and drinking that wine and smoking that herb and sniffing that coke, it really like hit us in here. And it just like sparked all the positive vibes you could ever imagine. And we just went with it. And then we realized that we got to do something, new. Make it happen with the nation. Because that was the nation coming alive right here in the law school in Mecca. And the first thing that really happened after we did that is that me and Prince Allah El Shakim was going to Harlem Prep. And me and Prince thought about doing something like that again to make it happen.
This is our firstborn Prince.
Prince Allah,
Prince
the one that started the show and prove with me,
right,
and Dumas.
And then we built when I'm at show and prove last year.
That was his son.
That was his son. Okay.
And his grandson.
His son and his grandson.
Yeah,
okay.
Prince went home.
Okay.
But we had their picture, him and Dumas picture up in the front.
Okay.
Right? And we said we had to do something. And Prince was living in the desert, but we was going to Harlem Prep. And they had in Hollis Queen, a big supermarket that was converted into a community center. And he said that we can get that and give a dance. All the way in the desert. We never really did nothing in the desert before. This is when the desert oasis, a rosebud bloomed in the oasis. That's what we said.
So that's when it became.
That's when it became
the
oasis. That's when we started calling it oasis. After that dance.
After the dance.
Yeah. So me, him, Prince Allah, and Dumas planned that dance in the father's old earth building. I was staying in apartment 11 in the father's old earth building, 249 139th Street. The father used to live in the first apartment, and his old earth used to live in apartment 2, big joint. And he had a older brother named John. I think his oldest brother used to have an apartment in the building, and his brother Wilbert had an apartment. And his youngest brother, A.L.R. Harry, he had the apartment that I got. He gave me that apartment after the father got assassinated. I was the guardian angel for his old earth. But anyway, we in that crib, and we planning the first dance in the desert. And I don't know if we call it, if you want to see Allah, all we had to do was come together. But that was our mindset of coming together. We brought the nation together. And that was the first time that an event had occurred where the nation came together. And it just so happened we had came together in a place where the father hadn't taught and didn't have no students that we knew of from the desert, except maybe Prince. So it was all new. And the things that came out of there years later was like phenomenal, because the show and prove was born out of that. The first show and prove. That was December 4th, 1970. And we had the first show and prove 2 years after the father's assassination on June 13th at Harlem Prep. But the first ones that performed there was two of the original members of the group GQ. Raheem and Sabu. And some sisters are the Nduga dancers. They started a show with CBS in 1972 on Channel 2, singing Superfly, dancing in Superfly. But anyway, it was serious. And then we planned for the show and prove. And we planned for the show and prove. That's when, like, okay, we got this going. We back alive. That was 70. A year after the father's assassination. A year and 3 months after the father's assassination. We back alive. We were stimulated back to life from maybe September because we started going to Harlem Prep. And me and Shakim ran for student government. Shakim was voted the president. I was voted vice president of student government. So now we into education and the politics of education, student government. So things is happening again, you know. And then we gave that first dance in the desert, and then we got the Harlem Prep to give the first show and prove. And we was alive. It was 2,500 people.
2,500 people.
2,500 people.
At the
first show and prove, we had an upstairs and a downstairs.
It's Harlem Prep.
Harlem Prep. It was an old big converted supermarket into a school. And it was huge. And we had an upstairs and a downstairs. And they even had an interior upstairs. I had to go upstairs to cut the lights on. I was the light man. I was the light man and the commentator for the midnight show. Dumar commentated the daytime show. I always did the showcase.
Wow.
That's when the entertainers got on. GQ got up there with a 16-piece band and performed. Then Duga dancers danced that night. And we had the fashion show. I handled all that. But I used the mic and I had to cut the lights on. I did the lights and the MC on that first one. Dumar did the MC and the show and prove cultural affairs and the scientific exhibits and stuff of that nature.
Wow.
Yeah, that was serious.
It's a little controversial because, you know, there's a sects of the nation that don't accept it and some do. About before Allah returned, he said that we would no longer be the 5%, would be called the nation of gods and earths. Can you build on that?
Yeah, it may be controversy for those that didn't understand it. And my take was on it, is that the Father in his last days started telling the gods in Mecca that. And we got it. And his last presentations to the nation was the gods in Mecca. I got it on the June 11th. The 12 brothers that was here on June 12th, they got it. And perhaps nobody else. None of the gods from Medina got it. But the gods from Mecca and Pilan got what he gave up on June 11th. Knowledge, word is bond, and what they got on June 12th.
And that was the day.
Knowledge, wisdom.
That's the day he chased you to Pilon.
Knowledge. That's what he chased me.
Yeah, right.
My knowledge was the same as his. He used to call. I was one of the first that he called brother. And I was one of the first that he told that they was God. He told me and God that we was God on August 1st, 1966. Allah, you God. And me and God came back to see him with 10 gods. Only 3 of us went up there the first time. Next time we came back, we came to Manawa with 10. You know? But anyway, he gave us that. So when we started manifesting it, after we came out that stuba, of course, a lot of brothers didn't really understand it, especially the gods from Medina, because they hadn't heard it. And when me, God, Supreme, and Knowledge Allah first manifested it, and I think we was the first to manifest it, is when we started dealing with Livingston Wingate from the New York Urban League, the ones that sponsored the school the first time. And we had a woman that gave us $750,000, which we never seen. She donated it to her because the father had taught them Caucasians, and they really ate it up, loved him. And she donated this to his nation through Lindsay. And Barry Garter administrated it.
And what was that number you said?
$750,000.
Wow.
The most that we got was $750. And Rajab received that, I think, one time in June or July. We went on a bus trip, right? And they hired 7 buses and gave Rajab $750. Now dig this, that usually they would buy the food for us and we make the trip. They told them they couldn't arrange the food for us, but whatever we spent on our food, they saved the receipts and they would give us the money back, whatever the receipt said. And Rajab, when we went on that trip, Rajab had $750, and if you presented him with a receipt, he gave you whatever that was in receipt. When we was up at the club and he went to the bar, he set the bar up and shit like that. Then another time out that $750,000, this one we knew or learned about the $750,000. With the $750, we didn't know about the $750,000. But Amar Education, who was down with Urban League at what's that? I think 40 Acres and a Mule, or Boys of Yesteryear, and Kasim in the wheelchair, and Kasim Messiah brother, and they went through the Urban League, got $5,000 that we didn't know nothing about, and they said that they was the president, the vice president, and treasurer of the 5%ers. God Supreme know about this. Knowledge of Law, David Brown living in Middletown know about this, and they went through whatever they went through, and they jerked the money. And me, God Supreme, and Knowledge of Law got on them, found out what the deal was, and there wasn't nothing we could do because the shit was gone. But we found out that them saying that we had a president, a vice president, and a treasurer, and that was now Cypher. That wasn't no way. So we had to straighten it out with the Urban League. Now, when dig this, my cousin, she used to work there. Her name was Peggy. She owned a company over here now, and she came here. She was working, and another sister named Hattie from my block up 146th Street. And my cousin came here and asked me could she speak to me, and she told me that they got a sizable amount of money for the 5%ers, and they not telling you how much it is. But some of your brothers got some of the money. You know, so she told me to go see Wingate and find out about it. And I took God Supreme and Knowledge of Law up there, 136th Street and 7th Avenue Urban League office. And we had an audience immediately with the director, Livingston Wingate. He later became a Supreme Court judge. But anyway, before we go in his office, Hattie tell me how much it is. Don't let him tell you it's just $5,000 like he gave them other brothers. It's $750,000. You hear me? So now I don't know what to do with no figure like that. So we went in there, we kicked it, we told them that no, we don't have no president. Them brothers don't represent us. We representatives of the 5%ers, and the only ones that can come is representative. We don't have no president. We don't have no vice president. We don't have no treasurer. We don't go up under the government in no shape, form, or fashion, because that's what the law told us. So we the representatives, and if you got some money, as we understand, for us, then we want it.
Right.
You know the motherfucker say, yeah, I got $5,000 for you. So we ain't beefing. They already told me what it was. But I tell you, I couldn't wrap my head around 750,000.
Wow.
So we took the 5,000, and they made cards for us. The 5% nation of gods and earths, because that's what we told them. We didn't know how to really drop the 5%. So that's what we said, so they could identify, yeah, we the 5%, but now we the nation of gods and earths. But me, God Supreme, and knowledge of law, hit them with that. And the Father gave us that before he went home. 3, 4, 5 days before he went home. He didn't say it at a parliament. None of the guards from Medina came over and got none of that. I don't know one brother from Medina that was with the 12. That he was with on the 12.
On the 12.
On the 12.
12 brothers on the 12 that he told this.
That's right.
Okay.
And I know none of them was with us when he sent us back to Pelon. You know? So they didn't get it. So when we kicked it, it wasn't no controversy, it wasn't no beef. But some of them say, no, they were still Allah 5%ers. And we say, yeah, well, the Father told us that we was the gods and our women was the earth, and now we the nation. And Allah, the Father, is not here. And we had to bring into existence the 39th degree, like we did the 16th degree. Tell us what you hope to live to see the day when the gods drive the devil in hell. And I know we used to say, take the devil into hell. Even though they got lessons that say, take the devil into hell. We drive the devil into hell like we drove him across the hot Arabian desert. Yeah, that was me. That's where I came from. But anyway, we was those gods. And that was our justification to take it from the knowledge equality to the understanding born. And on the 12th, he gave that to the 12. The 13th man gave that to the 12. So that 39th was the 12th, and that was the gods, and we born the 5% nation of gods and earth. We did. It used to be Allah and his 5%. But when the Father was gone in the physical, he left the gods, and all of us together was Allah. And we manifested as his 5%ers. So it was the 5% nation of God's name. You can say Allah's 5% nation of God's name, but you couldn't say Allah and his 5%. Like when Martin Luther King got assassinated, and we went to Central Park, and we was going through the people, and they say, who that man? And we were saying, Allah and his 5%, Allah and his 5%. You can't say that no more and show anybody who that man is.
Because he's gone.
He was physically.
Right.
But you could see his nation in the 5% nation of gods and earth. And we took that there with that understanding. And those that may think otherwise, that's on them. But I asked them, if they is in fact Allah and his 5%er, where's Allah? The Father that, raised us.
Right.
And what they talk about, a mystery, a spook?
Right.
I don't subscribe to no mystery. There's no mystery God.
Right.
And he told us, the gods. And that's how we stepped up. From that perspective.
Right.
And if they can't handle that, that's on their business, God. I don't argue with them. I don't have no dispute. There's no difference. They're my brothers.
Yeah, right.
And they want to stay that way. Allah and his 5%, more power to them. We elevated it to the degree and the extent that Allah told us to elevate it. Because it was going to be on us. It wasn't going to be on him no more. That's why he said he had to leave. Because if he stayed, we wouldn't be able to show and prove that we was the gods. So he had to leave so we could show and prove that we was the gods on our own. So they may be still stuck in the knowledge equality degree, and that's God, all praises due.
Peace.
But we elevated to the understanding born degree because we understand how this thing was born by Almighty God Allah. To show and prove that he alive and not dead.
Peace.
Peace.
All right. And then following in God knowledge, you went away for wisdom.
Wisdom God years.
Wisdom God years. I mean, can you build on the incidents that led up to that and your sin and everything?
Yeah. I always prep it with the atmosphere, the climate. Burton Roberts. He was the super district attorney of New York. Although he was elected Bronx County district attorney. He was the top district attorney in New York. That he got all the publicity, all the attention. Yeah, all the attention in the world and things of that nature. All right, he stayed on TV. But anyway, the father told me one night after me, Java, and Dubai had escorted him to go downtown to a Christmas party, a party that Mayor Lindsay was giving. Me and Java walked him to the 125th Street subway station at the 127th Street entrance in St. Nicholas Avenue. And he told us to be back at 12 o'clock to get him. And Dubai went downstairs with him to the party as his personal bodyguard. And when the father came back that night, me, Java was at the train station at 11:30. We waited a half an hour for them. And damn near at 12 o'clock on the dot, he came up the stairs with Dubai. And the first thing he said, watch yourself in Pelon. And then he told me what Burton Roberts told him. That Burton Roberts told him at that party that he could be Allah in New York County, in Kings County, and in Queens County. But if he come up to Bronx teaching people that he is Allah, he gonna have his black ass put in jail. And the father told me that night. And I was already in Pelon teaching. All right, he gave me that responsibility as a result by simply telling me to stay up in Pelon and teach them babies. He didn't send me up there like a lot of people say. He sent me up there. I was already teaching up there. He sent Rajab up there to see who the teacher was. And Rajab came back and told him what he seen in Pelon. And Rajab told him that he seen all the human families being taught by me. That's one of the first Caucasians was Ba Kim. One of the first Puerto Rican in the nation was Allah Shasha. He's still here. And a whole lot of babies. We had a stronghold on 174th Street and Bathgate Avenue. Knowledge, God, culture. And that's what we was manifesting big time. You hear me? That was knowledge, wisdom, right? And we was coming with that understanding. So Rajab gave him that. And the father, designated me as such. And that was that. But he told me about Burton Roberts. Now, mind you, in June 13th, 1969, the father got assassinated and was gone. And next thing you know, everything that happened with a 5%er that may have involved some criminality up in Pelon, they come looking for me. But mind you, I was hooked up and connected with the first anti-poverty program in Pelon called Bronco and got a street academy from him and all that. So politically, I was connected and protected. You hear me? And had a street academy from Bronco. Not only one, but I was a youth director and was in their headquarters and everything. And then when I got the street academy, it was farther uptown. We used to be at their headquarters on Boston Road, 169th Street. When I got the street academy, it was on 180th and Mohegan Avenue, right off of Southern Boulevard and Katona Parkway. So we was striving and had about 3 schools. PS 67, 136, and PS 99. So we was driving. I was teaching all the places, all over P-Line. So we was, getting a lot of notoriety, so to speak. And then an incident happened that a young brother got shot. They looked for me, and arrest me for something else in regards to somebody else getting shot. I didn't shoot the person, but I got arrested for it. And they let me out the next day, mind you, because they ain't had no evidence. They just had my name. Then the brother got stabbed. I went in the 48th precinct and went in the lockup pen and knocked the dude out. A dude named Henry, an old guy. He stabbed.
In the pens, you knocked out the dude.
Huh?
In the pens, you knocked him out.
Yeah. I wasn't arrested. I went in the precinct. And he was in the cage, the pen.
Right.
And I told the police, yo, open this door. You don't even have to arrest him. We not pressing no charges. Open this door, and I'll take care of him. And the police got red-headed police with a pink shirt on, got up and opened the door, and before he could do anything, I knocked the nigga out. His name was Herman. He stabbed a young brother named Kasim. Right? And the police was like, oh, shit, I let him hurt my prisoner. He didn't say that, but that was his reaction. He grabbed me, and we went to tussling and shit. Right? And some way or somehow, he got blood on his shirt. I don't know where the blood came from. My lip wasn't busted. And 7 police came in there, and they didn't jump on me, but they helped me and shit. But they couldn't arrest me, But he took my picture. But anyway, now I'm hotter than fist grease with these motherfuckers. But this is what I'm doing. You hurt us, we gonna hurt y'all. So I come out the precinct. I said we take him to the hospital and shit, or he went to the hospital. And then some young brothers had a dispute, got in some trouble early in the day, but it lingered. And then one young brother, he rides a bike that was not stolen, but was left by a dude who had jumped a brother named Zumar previously. But now when Zumar catch him in the neighborhood, instead of the dude riding off, he's so petrified, he rides and leaves his motorbike. So they got it, and they plan and ride and whatever the case may be. But I went to see a brother named Roger, and this is long and involved because I went to see Roger about what I went to see him about. And now when I came out of Roger's building, it's a big courtyard, and Shasha over there, and you can look straight out to the street, and that's what I seen. I seen a young light-skinned brother named Hakeem. He was about knowledge and understanding. I was in knowledge, and he looked like he was being messed with by a dude that had him trapped up in between 2 cars, and the car was there. The dude apparently, obviously, got out the car and was doing whatever he was doing to him. Right. And I immediately went right to them like a magnet and asked him, and now I see he got a gun. What you doing with that gun on my young brother? You hear me? And Hakeem was holding the motorbike, but when I said something, he broke out, and the bike was falling, and I'm between Hakeem and the dude and the bike. It looked like the bike was getting ready to fall on me. I grabbed a motherfucker, and now the dude put the gun on me. Yeah, and he went to explaining what the deal was, okay? And when he went to explaining what the deal was, he telling me to put the bike in the back of the car. All right, I told him about it was the young brother's bike and he just can't take it, but I put it in the back of the car anyway. Now when I put it in the back of the car, my back is to him. But I don't see how far he backed up. The car's here, I'm here, but he backed up. And then when he backed up, a shot rang out. And I tensed my body to absorb the shot. And I looked back. When I looked back, he was pointing the gun this way, toward the sidewalk. And here come the guards. The young brother went and told the guard what time it is. So when the guard is coming, the dude fired another one this way. And I'm that way. But now,
Dougie in there, right?
yeah, I could get in position to get away from this motherfucker. And that's what I did. And the young guards came, and they came with the fire. Drawing bottles and garbage cans and everything that they could. Right? And the car, look, instead of the guy getting in the car and leaving, he had something else on his mind. He told the people to go and they left. Bang! Now he crazy and he got the joint and he can't fire them two no more because now missiles is coming at his ass. And he cuts and go around the corner and run. And this is a real strange thing. It was a dude named Mr. Felton was on the corner. Cause I'm over here, but when he turned the corner, I went over to the other side and looked around the corner. But Mr. Felton is on the corner, and Mr. Felton got a big ass 45. You know, and I say, no, I got it. You know, and he raised up. We had a beef with Mr. Felton's son. My brother shot Mr. Felton's son before. But he ain't got no beef with us. And the dude is running now, and I come off the corner and run to the curb in between two cars, and he fired me again. Bam! That's 3 shots. And we counting them. And now the guards is like, no fear. No fear. And now they proceed and like that. You know, and when I say like that, this motherfucker with the gun is gonna get trapped. And it was a game of that shit. Street justice.
Street justice.
But he fired all 6 shots, hit 2 guards, grazed them. You know? And they came and got me for that. And the rest is history. Yeah, I got convicted on the testimony of one dude that was supposed to be an accomplice. You know?
You know, when I was getting knowledge, there were petitions.
Yeah.
You know, free born of law. So you knew about that.
Yeah. I quarterbacked it. Because it was a great injustice, man. It was like, yo, it was damn near 250 babies out there. 250 people. And I'm the only one that they gonna mess with?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
They said that, it's rumored that Universal Shamgar had came with some money.
Yeah, he tried to get me out. He came to see me.
Yeah.
Last time I seen him, he came up to Attica to see me. He got money. He was gonna get $50,000 to a lawyer. He's writing me. He's send me lawyers and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was political. That's the angle he was coming from. You know, that they use Muslim leaders shit, and they say, man, that was prejudicial and all that. That's where he was coming from.
Wow.
Yeah, Sham wasn't jobbing.
And what year was that? That was
last time I seen him was in '84.
'84. Okay, so
and I think he died. He got the money. He said he got it, and I'm waiting for it to come through. And when it came through, it was a matter of that coke shit.
Yeah.
He was a millionaire.
He was a millionaire. Right. Now, you know, like, you know, 'cause in 20 plus years since you've been home, social media has really like boomed and
Yes,
blossomed. You know what I'm saying? What role do you think the 5% should play in today's social media?
A major role. We teachers, and as righteous teachers, we have to have that positive knowledge in the universe. And the medium in which to get it out there today to the masses on a mass scale is the internet.
Because most of 85 are on social media.
Yeah, they there, and we have audience with them. Now, to use the audience is the question. Like, if you look at World Star, Hip Hop World Star, they got millions of people viewing that on the basis of pure savagery. A fight this, a fight that. I mean, people becoming instant media stars. They call them influencers. And they're influencing tens of millions of people. You know, in instant time. They call it Instagram. Yeah, instant time. And it'd be about pure bullshit.
Right.
And people don't gravitate towards knowledge. It was a black psychiatrist named Frantz Fanon. And he postulated the, what was it? Theory of cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that people have the tendency, 85% of the people had a tendency to disregard the truth when they hear the truth that may be contrary to what they had learned to believe,
right.
What they have been taught to believe,
right.
What they have been indoctrinated to believe.
Right.
No matter how evident the evidence is before them of what is the truth that may be contrary to their beliefs. And they would reject that truth after it becomes evident to them and accept the bullshit continuously. Here's a perfect example of what is it? A non-sensible illusion or a non-sensible belief. And when I say non-sensible, that it don't make no sense. That people as children was taught to believe in a Santa Claus coming down your chimney
right.
that you didn't even have.
Right. Yeah, right.
And leaving you some toys.
Right.
You know, that your parents went to the store and brought, but you've been told.
So did he come out the oven?
Yeah, that he came down. Well, where's
the
chimney?
chimney?
Where's the chimney? Yeah, where's the, you know, that's evident. Where's the chimney, mommy? I mean, you go to everybody else's house and go down their chimney that has a chimney, but we don't have one. How did he get in our house? Did you open the door? You know? And that's the sense that it would make or take for even a child to ask them questions.
Right.
Where's the goddamn chimney?
Right.
Do reindeers really fly? You know, where's the sleigh? And here, nonsensible delusions that, or illusions, whatever, that in the South, where there ain't no snow, but he riding a sled in the snow, and he ain't got no snow where we live, in the South.
Right.
It's hot, high temperature. So people see this, and it's evident to them, but they still believe the bullshit.
Right.
They easily led in the wrong direction.
Hard to lead in the right.
Hard to lead in the right.
Right.
Even against the truth, it's very, very hard to lead them in the right. And they remain, well, they say ignorance is bliss.
Right.
So, but they not blissful in the hell that they be suffering. Not even when they go to sleep, they have nightmares. They not blissful. They ignorant, but ain't nothing blissful about ignorance. You know? But I know that they have that tendency to believe that bullshit. And more people gonna watch on the internet bullshit than they gonna watch something relevant that's gonna be beneficial to them. They gonna think
I'm of the mind to give them the right foods.
Yeah, you can get them the right foods, but are they gonna eat the right food?
Right.
Look at it. Look, every day when I see a person smoking a cigarette, they committing suicide. They putting a 45 to their goddamn head every time they smoke that, inhale that cigarette, and mess up their lungs. They cutting in their own breath and shortening their life. And what that Surgeon General said, not cigarettes may be hazardous to your health. It has been determined that cigarettes will cause cancer, a deadly disease, and they still what? Smoke. One of the biggest industries in the world is the tobacco industry.
Right.
You know, so that's how ignorant people is. They very suicidal. We say that the devil is self-destructive, and the ignorant people follow the devil's teachings and indoctrination and way of life. So the ignorant people become self-destructive. They tell them don't eat red meat because of all the disease-causing effect of red meat. And what they do?
Eat red meat.
Eat plenty of it. They tell them don't eat pork. Yo, they'll kill a motherfucker. You tell them don't eat no pork, they try to kill you, all these pig-eating motherfuckers. They eat so much pig, they look like the pig. Yeah,
that's right.
You know, yeah. But they don't stop, and they know it's detrimental. I mean, what the first thing the doctor tell a person when they come in there with rheumatism and heart failure and arthritis and all other diseases that you could think of? The first thing they tell them is to maintain or establish a fat-free diet, low in sodium. And pig ain't nothing but fat. And the first thing they tell them is stop eating that goddamn pig. That's fat-free.
Right.
Do you think they stop to save their life? No.
They'd rather have surgery and all that other
They're
stuff.
all of that.
And continue doing
And continue eating the pig.
Yeah.
The same way they do with the cigarettes. So the ignorant is going to look at the different videos by the millions about ignorant shit.
Right.
And it ain't going to be too many that look at things that is conscious raising.
Right. But those that are looking for those that are concentrating, you got to provide.
Ain't no question. Right. You got to provide it. It's vitally necessary. It's a must. It's mandatory. Just as I always say that unrighteousness have an overpowering influence in the world today. However, no matter how much influence unrighteousness have, it got to be a righteous influence. Right. And we that righteous influence. Right. And one of the mediums of the righteous influence is the internet. As it was during the golden era of hip-hop, music, the CD. You know, and then the entertainers going all over the world. And one of the best groups that ever came with it was the Wu-Tang Clan. And they taught through their music the world. And look at the recent exposure that they got iconically in their 25th anniversary with the videos, with the documentaries. And look what they show in the documentary the teaching. They come right to the school, the parliament, the teachers in the street. Look how it been manifested in what's that? The Wu-Tang Clan, American Saga.
Right.
Straight up. Only thing they didn't do was depict the flag.
They changed the flag. From what I understand that is because of
that was Hollywood.
The rights of the rights of the family. They Freedom saying that he didn't want to.
Well, that's cool. There was no dispute.
Yeah. There's no dispute. Right.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But the teachings was manifested unadulteratedly.
I enjoyed it, God.
I loved it.
I enjoyed it, God.
I loved it.
And
I understood it.
And I want to say that it wasn't for those who were there in the 90s. It was for another audience.
It was for this audience today.
Right.
But it was for anybody. I was in jail when all that was happening. But they gave me a glimpse of how they was affected. And in fact, when that last episode, and this was serious to me, that they didn't show the teachers on Staten Island in Stapleton, or either Park Hill. They came to the pink houses in Red Hook. And the guards was building in the pink houses in Red Hook. And they was out there in force. And the brother gave it up dynamically. Peace, God. What's the day's mathematics? And now this is the first time that the RZA, as he was playing Bobby, was dropping it.
Right.
And the other people that was with him didn't even realize that he had studied like that. You know? So they were showing you how influential this teaching was.
Right.
And those that was around him didn't even know he had it. Because you know what he said? The brother that played Ghost told him, oh man, we ain't into that.
We ain't into that, right.
We ain't but he didn't even know
Right.
that this man was into that.
Right.
But the influence was like,
Right.
bam, it'll sneak up on that ass.
Yeah. Well, later on, you know, I mean, I give Wu-Tang the props for spreading the teachings. But I also want to say they did spread a lot of other things too.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't know if you realize it, that there's permanent magnetic and temporary magnetic. But it's magnetic that is the source of the power of attraction. Rather it's temporary or permanent. The key is the magnetic. And don't we always take the best part
Right.
for ourselves? We don't care about, I don't give a fuck about the worst part. Excuse my expression, please. I don't care about the worst part. I take the best part. And the best part of magnetic and the temporary magnetic, I'm taking that best part of the magnetic. And the best part of the permanent magnetic, I'm taking the best part of the permanent magnetic. Because I care about and preserve the best part. I don't care about the worst part. I care about the poor part because I can get riches out of the poor part too.
Yeah, you got to develop the purpose.
Exactly.
That's it.
But the worst part I don't care nothing about.
Right.
So whatever they did with the worst, that was on them. I don't care about that's something. Every toe is gonna stand on its own. Everybody, is gonna stand on its own toes. So that's that man's heaven or hell. And I can't fault him for his heaven or hell.
Right.
That's what he gotta bear. Or they gotta bear.
Right. Okay. Well, one last question. Well, a little bit. As we opened up in 2014, 2015, Born Mastermind started his black biology class in a law school in Mecca.
Yeah.
At what point did you notice trouble being stirred from that class?
Well, I didn't notice any trouble being stirred from that class until the video came out
With the
Moors. Yeah.
Okay.
Because nobody complained directly about anything that he was saying or teaching.
Right. Well, you know, it's interesting because I had came in, that's when I had started doing the video recording. And at first he didn't want me to record. And, we built and I told him that I was doing it for a law school in Mecca. And then he agreed and I was sending him the videos and he was pleased with them. And there were some things that he had said in the video that when I posted it, well, yo, what the fuck is this? And what was that? He had made, I guess he called himself defending it, but then brothers, this is a little strange. But then it was that video of the Moors.
Yeah, that's when
that really.
That's when I noticed it.
Really made issue.
Okay, well, like you said, you was getting, some feedback, but you didn't even mention that.
Right. Now I didn't because it wasn't big because some things that I saw, I said no, it's peace. Like he would mention some things about astrology.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
He was doing work. That man was teaching.
He was doing when he mentioned astrology.
Yeah.
The way it made it seem like I didn't see any problem with it, but then there's brothers that take issue with astrology and
people take issue with a whole lot of different things.
Right. So I did some things with peace, and I said, it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm not a book burner.
Right.
I'm not a book burner. Mm-hmm. I get and extrapolate what is best for me out of a book. I read all kind of books.
Right.
Pimp books, hustler books, deed books, killer books, and I got the best part. Mm-hmm. And people supposed to do that. Live and let live. Get what you can get, and the hell with the rest that don't mean nothing to you.
Right.
But they don't live like that. They get all twisted out of shape because they think everything's supposed to be monolithic. it got to be one way, no way at all. That's bullshit.
Right.
We got 360 degrees in the cipher. So what, you only gonna represent one degree and forget about the other, what's that, 259? No. Not if you're going from knowledge to born.
359.
359, what I said, two? Yeah, no. Not if you're going according to, from knowledge, mathematically from knowledge to born.
Right.
And at knowledge to born, when you knowledge to born, you gotta add a cipher. Your knowledge gotta add a cipher. And then you go to the next level.
Right.
You take the knowledge from knowledge to born, that knowledge add a cipher. You go to the next level, take the knowledge from knowledge born and the wisdom cipher, the knowledge born, an understanding cipher, and so forth and so forth.
Right.
And those that don't, they stagnant. And I don't care for nobody that's stagnant, because they dead. A stagnant person is dead.
Right.
So people come with all kind of stagnant arguments that is dead to me.
Well, I agree that he did do a lot of good work. There were just some things that were in question, and
whatever. If it is in question, you question it.
Yeah, right. And
then you resolve.
And we built on it. And I built on it. We went through, our process as brothers do.
Right.
And I didn't see an issue. Now this thing with the Moors, that's
different.
Yeah.
That was totally different.
Yeah, that was out of line.
That's when I seen it. That's when I seen that it was out of line. That's something that he had to be checked on, and that's something that he was checked on. Mm-hmm. He accepted, and he said that it wouldn't happen no more. The brother, he's rectified it and apologized. But I heard that wasn't the first time.
What, with the Moors? Well,
At another place.
Oh, okay.
See?
See, right. There's something
background
in question.
Exactly.
Right.
See, because then you look at ulterior motive. Now it ain't what he's saying; it's what he's doing, and that's what you judge a person on what they do, not what they say.
Right. What they doing?
What they doing? Mm-hmm. That's character.
Right.
He say, she say, they say. I don't fuck with. Mm-hmm. But I look at the character of a person, and you determine the character by their actions, not their word. Because their word is that of a said person of that ability. Right. And that's said.
Right.
That's not tangible. That's not live. The live word is in action. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can determine a person's character from action. And this wasn't the first time that had occurred. It was at another location that nature type of thing with the Moor supposed to have occurred.
And I was even interesting now looking back at it. I want to say about a week or two before, he had gotten to the parliament and he had brought some brothers up and he said that this is the new leaders of our nation.
Yeah, and that wasn't so.
And two of them, I'm not sure. Two of them were Moors, and there were some other brothers, that. Maybe they might have been studying, but they weren't fully citizens of this nation. They weren't really active builders in this nation.
Well, according with them, that might have been accurate if they was studying.
They
could have been the future leaders. But with the Moors, that might have been, what caused the controversy. Right. Because they're not going to be the leaders of the nation.
Right.
But somebody that was studying,
he went up with the fairs and everything.
Then you pinpoint that out, right, and that would be correct.
Right.
But the ones that studying, that wouldn't be correct because they might have that potential to go and further study in their studies and actually become potential leaders.
Well, God, that was in 2015. God.
In 2015.
Right. Now, those same individuals,
Is Moors now?
No, I don't know if they're Moors, but I know I ran into several of them, and I would approach them and I say, "Peace, how you doing?" And I guess they know who I am, and it's almost like.
So you saying not one of them?
Not one of them really are active members.
Okay, well then he was wrong then. So he lived. So you could see that his word wasn't bond. All right.
Right. So now fast forward. Now we have this thing about a tribal government. And so, what it looks like to me is that the brother would like to gain a flock, and wants.
Well, he could gain that, but wherever he gain it, he got to take it from here.
From here, right?
It ain't here.
Right.
Allah said we was a nation, and that's all it had to be. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that they think they got to go up under the government to validate themselves and the teaching as a nation, but you don't. I changed my name just through manifesting it, and it's on my card and everything. But them brothers, like this dude you talking about, he talked about having to go through the government for whatever reason for sovereignty. If you go through it,
it's not, I know what you're saying, but I don't think it's exactly sovereignty. But he basically
no, that's what he's saying though, God. That's what he's saying for sovereignty.
I think it's more it's
like
tribal government. It's a tribal.
No, that's just the term that he's using.
Right.
Like the Indians tribally have a sovereign nation. Okay, but they didn't have to go through no process with no government for their sovereignty. They recognize culturally.
Well,
and that's how the father
is what I'm saying. According to him, they did go to, or they do have some kind of agreement.
They have a treaty.
A treaty, right?
Yeah, come on now, they have a treaty. I know the process.
Right.
We had a UN representative. Did you know that?
No. What?
Yeah, Hashim. Black seed Hashim that you see around here.
Right.
His daddy was our UN representative. He was appointed our UN representative by Allah. So we was already there. We already there, represented as a nation, amongst nations. Me and Eileen that was just here. We was the 65th nation at President Nixon, excuse me, 60th birthday at where he held it, the Commodore Hotel. And we was the guest of honors. We didn't have to go through all that bullshit that this dude is talking about. I got experiences with it, God. Me and Arlene was just here.
So overall, what do you think about his whole tribal government?
He could do that, but he can't take the nation up under that. That's his business.
Right. So basically,
he just got to leave us the fuck alone with that bullshit. Take it wherever he want to take it, but leave us the fuck alone with that bullshit. Allah didn't take us up under that, and He didn't send us in that direction. So wherever He getting this shit from, it ain't from the Father.
Well, I mean, I look at it, G. Like, you deal with that with you and your family.
That's what I said.
No. And as I'm adding on with you, God, like, it's you do that with you and your family, and but no, he doesn't. Because I told him that.
That's
I said you deal with that. You deal when he was dealing with this whole science of eugenics. Yeah. I was telling him because he wanted to bring eugenics to the nation. I said no, you deal with that.
That was developed by the devil.
Right. That's what
they destroyed the so-called desirables.
But he was saying he trying to flip it and use it, the program to elevate the original.
Well,
I'm saying
that don't sound like Yaqub.
That's what I would say. That sounds like some fancy shit. But I'm saying,
put it where it is.
Right. So I'm saying, all right, that's what you're doing. You show and prove that you and your family. But no, he wants to do that to you and I.
Yeah.
No. Gee, that's what
he got to go somewhere else with that bullshit.
Right. That's the
bottom line. Take that wherever he got it from and stick it up his ass.
Yeah.
In no uncertain terms. Ain't no controversy. Ain't no debate. Ain't no bullshit rap. That's all.
Do you see any similar? Because I've heard him compare him to Robert Walker. Do you see a comparison?
He deviates from our teachings. And look, I'm not against him in the sense of him wanting to establish what he think he should establish. Because if I was, I would be like the Muslims that was against the Father when the Father went his way. Okay? But the brother got to go his way. If he try to bring that shit here, he is imposing that bullshit on us, and that's not our way. And we fight against those who fight against us. And that's how I'm taking it.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you too long. Anything else you want to add on, Almighty God?
That's good, man. That's good.
That was a good one. I really want to. Next time I want to build on your books. You know what I'm saying? Go through the science of, like, you know, 'cause you got 2 books coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could, you know, add on about that. Well, I appreciate you, God.
All right, Dynamite.
Peace, God.
If Mecca did this.